Hey, I think we're on.
Maybe. It doesn't look like it's on for me. Let me see.
There it goes. Well, it says it's on.
All right. We're on.
If you hear a bunch of noise in the background, it's because there's a storm coming. Florida in summer.
Well, it's here. Yeah. The storm's here.
Well, yeah. It's like
really kind of explosion.
Explosion. Mm-hmm. I think there was a wreck out there on the highway. It sounded like it because we heard a boom and then we heard a bunch of fucking ambulances and whatnot.
It's buffering pretty bad on my little device.
It always does that at first, for a little while. Takes a while. What are you gonna do? So we decided to do a Sidetracks today, do a live stream and stuff like that because we didn't watch any new movies, so we don't have any movies to review. But we thought we had to go online today because it's Tom's birthday today.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to Tom.
Yeah. She got me a cake and everything, a card. Bought me a little drone to practice with.
A drone with.
Yeah, I opened that early though.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
I know. Did we mention that before? Yeah. It's like I ordered it a long time ago, and it's like, the package came, and I guess he didn't look and look to see if my name was on there, and he just like opened it.
No, because your name was. We were expecting something else.
Yeah, we were expecting something else. We were expecting like more lights from the show, and I had ordered those too. So he thought that it was the lights. So he just opened it, and then he's like, "Who sent us this?" And I'm like, "Oh, happy birthday!" Yeah, it was like 3 weeks ago. I'm like, "You're not getting anything else," so it's like, you better get on that. But yeah, show him the card that I found. I was very, very excited when I found this card, you guys. Oh wait, it stopped. What is it doing? Oh, okay, there it goes. There it goes. Look at that. It looks just like Pookie.
Yeah, Pookie with a fucking
with a thing on her head.
Yeah,
and that totally looks like something Pookie would do too, because she's
a space helmet.
Because she's a goofball.
Yeah. It's one of those fucking Chinese.
Yeah, it's a Chinese
takeout
container.
But they got it cut like a space helmet.
Yeah, like I said, that totally looks like something that Pookie would do.
Yeah.
I was so happy when I saw that fucking card because I was looking for one that had a cat that looked like Pookie on it. It is ridiculous. Yeah. It's like, I saw ones that had cats that looked like Pookie, but they had tails. You know what I mean? They don't have a lot of Manx pictures.
Yeah.
Like with the little stumpy tails. They need more representation.
So everybody's saying happy birthday. Let's see who's here.
Yeah, Pookie, our glorious leader. I know that's what that cat looks like.
Neelay's in. Beth Owens, Mark, Neko Cat. Sandra's there.
Yeah.
Sabrina, Maria, Amy Stumbo, Jenny Frisch. Emotional Landscape. What's up, Emotional Landscape? Hey, you know what? I answered your question about, is Army why it's not depressing, and I sent you a link of a guy doing a TED talk. He was a reporter, and he was with the guys up at Restrepo, and he explains why guys who go through combat always miss it and always want to go back to it. But I sent you that link. But sometimes on YouTube, you don't get a notification that somebody responded. So I'm just telling you.
Yeah, I've noticed that because I've answered people or had people ask me questions and I've written back, but then it didn't. It notifies me when there's a new comment on things, but not necessarily if I don't know. Because I usually get, thank you very much, Mango Badger.
Yeah, I'm seeing everybody's going. Yes, indeed. Let me see some of them flash bulbs. All right.
Can we just talk about the yummy cake that I got for you? Because we had to have a piece, obviously. I get them from the Publix bakery, Yeah. And this one, I think it's called the limoncello or something like that. Yeah. It's like a lemon cake, and it's got fresh strawberries in between the layers, and it's got really nice whipped cream.
Hold on, I got Oracle Man.
It's delicious.
Mark, Oracle Mom. Oh, it's Oracle Mom.
Mun with the
N. Yeah. Minka Bear, Austin is there. Free Pixie,
Fire Pixie.
Yeah, I just think it's so tiny. Look at that! I can't read it.
even the glasses they do not help.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Emotional Landscape says she'll check it. Yeah, it's on. It was on that other show. You remember which one it was? Okay. Yeah. So we got 26 with us right now. Everybody's saying happy birthday.
Yeah. See. I knew everybody would show up
for
Tom's birthday. How does it feel being 1 year old? I'm not gonna say how old you are.
Everybody knows I'm 51. 51 fucking years of excellence.
That's what it is.
Well, yeah.
and I know this is, well, it's your birthday. We don't usually drink at this time of the afternoon because it's only 2:00 in the afternoon for us. But I was like, hell with it. He's like, hey, you want to drink? How long are we going to be streaming for? I'm like, I don't know. I don't even know what we're going to talk about. He's like, hey, you want to drink? And I was like, yeah, why not? Like I said, with cake and liquor, can't ask for anything more than that.
I can make some predictions for my birthday. Once I get drunk, I'll be on the channel. Nostradamus predicts.
Maria Suarez says, I'm 59. It's a good decade.
Yeah.
I guess I'll be finding out in a few years. I still got a couple years to go before I get into the big 50. I'll be 48 in September. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know. It's weird because I don't know. I just never felt like it mattered all that much. I guess I haven't got to a point where I just like feel super crappy every day.
Yeah, well, you don't have white hair and you don't look like a damn dried up fucking pear yet.
Not yet.
Yeah. Eventually happens.
Hopefully I'll be like super, super old before that happens. I'll be like way past caring.
Look like one of them old research chimpanzees that they put out to the fucking pasture.
Thanks,
and those damn, how you doing? We're finally out. Yeah, remember that shit?
Oh, that's so sad. I've read so many books about all the poor little chimpanzees that the
research chimpanzees.
Yeah. Well, after a certain age, they have to send them out to
pasture.
Yeah, they have to like put them out the thing. Well, and even the ones that are male, you can't really deal with them after they turn 8 or so because they get too aggressive. So they can't do like any kind of like intelligence studies or like anything like that.
What do they do? How does a research chimpanzee live when they're doing research on them? Do they have a shitty life or
I guess it depends on the facility and it depends on what kind of research they're doing on them.
Right, man. So yeah.
I mean, I think from because I was always kind of interested in like ape intelligence and stuff. So from the books that I've read in that arena, most of them were treated fairly well.
Yeah.
And actually coming up in like, the 60s and 70s, a lot of times, because for a time,
they were raising them like children.
They were raising them like children because they were interested to see like how similar to humans they would act if they were raised around children.
Kind of similar.
It is. Yeah, it was kind of similar. I mean, but like I said, once they turned 8 and like they came into sexual maturity, the males would just start like beating people up and tearing their arms off and whatnot.
As soon as you see that little female orangutan react to that guy's magic trick though on YouTube, fucking laugh.
I love that. I love that.
She points at him and starts laughing. You got me. You got me.
That's what I mean. And in a way, that's why I think it's like kind of terrible that they, put them in zoos or they do this kind of shit to them because, I mean, that's like doing it to a kid. They're about the same intelligence level as a kid. Just because they can't talk.
Depends on the zoo.
Yeah.
If it's the facility's good, sometimes they might have it better than they'd have it in the wild.
Yeah.
Because they're running out of places to live and the land can't support them and people are just shooting them and fucking selling them for meat.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind ones like, that have like huge enclosures and, that have everybody. It's just kind of the ones that they don't really have that much anymore just because we don't really... but there were some zoos. I remember when I was growing up as a kid that you go to the zoo and like they'd have like a big tiger or something like that. And it was in like this tiny fucking cage, like a tiny enclosure, which obviously is not an ideal situation.
Yeah.
Because they don't have enough room to like walk around,
But they don't have enough room for them in the wild.
That's true.
Just
but like I said,
they were going through that shit on Tiger King.
Yeah.
They're just, Tiger King or Lion King? Tiger King.
Lion King is all confused. Lion King is a different thing.
Like I need my dad here. My dad, he hit straight. You gotta understand something. There's a difference between a Lion King and a Tiger King. See what everybody's saying.
Mango Badger says, "What the hell are you drinking, Tom?"
It's silver tequila with Rockstar energy drink.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's giving me energy.
Drunk energy.
Yeah.
Well, you like that better than, or you like that just as much as because didn't you get what's that other one fucking called? The Red Bull?
Yeah. Red Bull Tropical. That's okay. It's not really worth the price difference.
Well, Rockstar is a lot cheaper.
Rockstar is a lot cheaper.
Because it tastes
better.
You can get, the big can of Rockstar for what was it? $2.29 or something like that. Whereas like just for the little bottle of the yellow, it's like $7 or $8, like just for 4 little bitty ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Somebody's saying I'm causing and curing a hangover at the same time. Because, yeah.
If only that was how it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just going along with it.
Yeah,
I'm just waiting for the shit to take effect.
Oh, you might have to drink it faster than that.
No, yeah, right.
I'm not going to encourage it.
It's pretty strong.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say later on this evening, you're just going to be like, wow.
Yeah.
You're just not going to want to do anything.
I'll be all right.
Yeah. You think?
Not sure I'll be all right.
You can take an old man nap later on.
Yeah. I could do whatever I want.
That's true.
You can do whatever I want.
It's your birthday. You can do whatever. Yeah. Well, you can do whatever.
I do whatever I want
every day. It doesn't really matter. Oh, thank you so much, Mark.
See them flash bulbs, Mark. See, I gotta fucking start talking about flash bulbs. Yeah. If you guys send me something, you can also ask a question. Of course, if you send me money, I'll answer a question.
Well, yeah,
I'll make a prediction from Nostradamus, man who saw tomorrow, and the day after that, and yesterday.
Well, that seems considerably easier.
Yeah, everybody saw yesterday.
Unless you were in a coma or something, I don't know. Yeah. So what have we been up to today? Like I said, I went and picked up your cake.
Yeah.
Got masked up and went to the Publix bakery. Picture and
reheated some spaghetti.
Yeah. Well, what do you?
Oh, I got that.
You got something in the oven. Yeah. What is that? I don't even know what it is. It's just like I see the oven's on. It smells good in here. I don't know what it is.
It's a pork shoulder. I took a whole bunch of mustard. I put about a cup of that in a big old bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I put about 4 tablespoons of coriander and about 4 of fucking paprika and some garlic salt. No, it's not. Excuse me, granulated garlic.
Oh.
And then some cayenne pepper. And then a little bit of turmeric. And I mixed that in there with that mustard. And then I slathered it all over the outside of that pork shoulder.
Oh, my goodness.
And put it in there at 450 degrees for about a half hour just to brown the outside of it. And then I turned it way down to 185. I'm going to slow cook it.
Yeah, it's been in there for a while already.
It'll probably be ready around 2 or 3.
Well, it is 2.
3, probably about 3.
Yeah, I was going to say.
About 3.
Because I think you put it in there about 11:30 or 12, didn't you?
Yeah.
So
it's good in about 4 hours. That's a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah. 4 or 5 hours.
Mark, who sent you money, his question was, when will my butthole stop burning?
It'll stop burning once you stop wiping on it with that damn fucking really hard fucking toilet paper. Get some soft toilet paper.
Get the Charmin.
Get that Charmin.
Get rid of that like Scott's 1-ply or whatever.
It'll stop burning.
What is it, Scott? Get some Preparation H.
It'll stop burning. It'll stop burning once Zach stops staring at it. So
maybe
he's staring at it so hard it's heating it up. It's like solar radiation.
That's a good answer.
Yeah. It's powered by gastrogen.
And as yet undiscovered hormone.
It's the hormone that makes gay men gay. Gastrogen. It's not testosterone and it's not estrogen. It's both. It makes a motherfucker dance. They start dancing, especially when the Pet Shop Boys are on.
Yeah.
Pet Shop Boys. Oh yeah, they get out there.
Or Erasure.
Erasure. That's right.
That's what it's like. I'm so ambivalent about.
It's called Gay Wave.
Yeah, which some of it I like. I've never been a big fan of the Pet Shop Boys. I love It's a Sin, and there's like a couple of other songs of theirs I like. Erasure, I think I liked more in the 80s, but then I kind of got sick of them because they were just a little too...
It's too repetitive.
Well, it's too like mainstreamy.
Yeah.
They're still good, but it's like there's a lot of... I like, stuff that's not quite as happy as that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Omen. It's only 9 years.
Tom caused my hangover this weekend. Sorry. Gay? What?
I should be in the remake of Omen 2. What should I play?
What happened? We need to see Omen 2 again. I don't even remember. What was that? What was that one? Who was in that one that played Damian in that? Was that where Damian was a teenager or like a young man kind of? I remember the three of them being the like 1, 2, and 3 actually all being like fairly good.
Jair's here. What's up, Jair? That's my boy from Mexico, from TJ. He's a fellow connoisseur of fucking tequila.
Mm-hmm. I was trying to find you.
Yeah.
For Instagram, I was trying to find a picture of a cake that looked like a tequila bottle. And well, the funny thing is that I was amazed that there were like a shit ton of them.
They exist,
but almost all of them were Patron.
Yeah,
like there are. I guess that's a thing because like a whole bunch of different bakeries
make a Patron
a cake that looks like Patron. I don't know.
Is it flavored but with Patron?
I don't know. I don't know if it's like they always like had like limes and shit on it. So maybe it's like a lime cake with like I don't know. Then maybe they just made it look like that.
Yeah, Damian at the military academy. See, the thing about the Omen is in Omen 1, I looked like that too. Fucking my babysitters always were like, "Oh, he looks just like the little kid from the Omen."
I wish I could find that picture. Where was that picture of you that used to be in that frame of you as like a kid?
I don't know.
I don't know what the hell that where the hell that went to.
But yeah, I look like a little kid from the Omen.
Yeah, you look like Damian.
And I did kind of look like him fucking in the military school phase too. Yeah.
Also, you looked a little bit, I guess it was more the hair, but like when you were a teenager, you kind of looked, you had like a Rick Springfield, C. Thomas Howell kind of thing going on.
Yeah. Everybody had the haircut though. That's
true. I kind of jokingly for a while, I was like photoshopping a bunch of pictures of you into like pictures of various people. Yeah. And I found a cover of Tiger Beat.
Yeah.
That had, I think C. Thomas Howell was on the front, but it's like I photoshopped him out and then put you in there like in your teenage thing. And then you put it on your Facebook page, like totally pretending it was real.
And people believed it was real.
That you were a pop star in the 80s.
And then she posted a picture of me photoshopped in with the very early Go-Go's.
Yeah. That was my favorite one. I think that one came out.
And I started lying underneath there. It says, yeah, I remember that one. Fucking, and they're like, dude, you knew the Go-Go's? Says, yeah, I toured with the Go-Go's. And fucking, they're like, well, you toured? And it said, yeah, man, those chicks tore me up. I had to get away from that shit. I was too young to be hanging out with them girls, man. It's like, just all kinds of.
It's like Belinda Carlisle used me up.
Yeah, they just used me up. And then
Jane Weedlin.
Shit. Was always sore and shit.
They were carrying me around in their suitcases and whatnot.
And then she had another picture of me as a kid. I must have been about 7, and I was in an STP jumpsuit.
Yeah,
it looked like something that a mechanic could wear. It said STP on it, and she photoshopped me right in with fucking Evel Knievel when he was getting ready for his Snake Canyon jump.
Yeah,
and it looked real.
It looked like Evel Knievel was consulting with Baby Tom.
Yeah. And
thank you, Tammy.
Thank you very much. And I put that up there on YouTube, not YouTube, on Facebook. And I said, yeah, I remember that. Because that was when I was coaching Knievel right before his Snake Canyon jump. Just because he was getting ready for the Snake Canyon jump.
He's like, he asked my advice because I was, I was really, at that point, I had done many jumps on my big wheel.
Yeah.
In my neighborhood. So I was like,
I told him, I said,
about the physics of the situation.
Yeah, I told him to keep his hand clear of the fucking parachute, fucking deployment latch. Keep his hand off that. Because in case you guys don't know, he had his hand on that shit. And fucking when the rocket took off, the G-forces caused him to pull back on it, and he released the damn chute.
Whoops.
While he was still going. He's lucky that chute just didn't tear loose.
Yeah.
Because he just would have fallen straight down. Would have killed him. Yeah.
Well, he's
Knievel wasn't really the brightest man. He was fucking brave, but I don't think he really thought a lot of the shit out.
Well, sometimes it's better to in terms of bravery, I guess, to
not
just
to be too intelligent,
kind of dumb, because then you don't like overthink it. You don't think about too much about the shit that could happen.
Yeah.
You just kind of do it without thinking about it.
Well, he did overthink a lot of it, though. Even with what little brain he had, he was still overthinking a lot of it.
Little brain.
He was like, I respect his fucking machismo, though. That motherfucker just made a living busting himself up. But he thought that he had to be ready to deploy the chute.
Yeah.
I wouldn't worry about deploying that. She's worrying too much about deploying the chute. And he had his hands crossed over his chest and just did the shot.
Just let it fly. Yeah.
Let it fly. And then, once the G-forces were off him, he could have deployed it. He probably would have made it.
Yeah.
I think it was going to make it.
Oh, well.
And he called it a rocket cycle. Ain't that some shit? You build a fucking rocket. It's a fucking, and put 2 wheels on the bottom, 3 wheels on the bottom of it and called a cycle.
Yeah.
Maybe it didn't even have wheels on it.
I can't even remember now.
I think it did have some wheels on it because he had to call it a cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he said he was going to jump it over in a motorcycle first. See?
And then they were like, well, it's not technically a motorcycle.
Technically a motorcycle. It's a rocket. Yeah.
Yeah. Not as you know it anyway.
The first one was a motorcycle.
Yeah.
It was a motorcycle with wings and a bunch of rocket engines on it. But there was no way that thing could have made it across that canyon, though.
Yeah.
No way.
Because, I mean...
But he still had it. He would show people that. But then later on, he says, no, here it is.
And everyone's like, oh,
it's like a
bullshit.
50-foot fucking missile.
Yeah. Well, he's like, what? I can't really jump I can't jump that far in a motorcycle. Come on, are you guys high? Well, it's like, I don't know. It's like...
When I was a kid, man, my friends on the block, fucking Jimmy and Mike, we all wanted to be Evel Knievel.
Yeah.
We wanted to grow up and be stuntmen. No, that's not what we called them. What are we? Daredevils. That's what we call them. We're going to be a daredevil. That's what it was.
You want to be a daredevil.
Yeah, be a daredevil. Wasn't a stuntman. It was a daredevil.
Maybe 80s people know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and that was the thing. That was the thing of the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Get on our bicycles and fucking tie it down. Did all kinds of crazy shit. Put my dad's motorcycle helmet on. Tie a bath towel around my fucking neck. Fucking
I'm a superhero.
Yeah, like that. Put my mom's fucking yellow dish gloves on. Ride out to the fucking place where we're gonna do the stunt and jump up, get up on top of the shed and jump off the top of the shed. Fucking bust my ass. But they were doing it with me.
Good times.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you did in the 70s and 80s. You just kind of ran around. You went in the woods. You took some fireworks and blew some shit up.
In that same outfit, I climbed up on top of the house with 2 record album covers. A little bit of those paper records.
I love this story.
And put my hands in each one. I made wings and jumped up and tried to flap that shit. Fucking didn't fly. Didn't work. Didn't work.
Because remember how I said that? Please tell me that one of those albums was like "Fly Like an Eagle" or something like that.
As a matter of fact, I think one of them was an Elton John record.
Rocket Man.
One where he's got the big glasses sitting at the piano.
Oh, okay.
It was one of mom's shit. I remember that one of them was Elton John. And then trying to think what else I did. It was fucking crazy.
Yeah, Oracle Munn says Evil was played by George Hamilton once. Big 70s icon, energy at work. He was the one that was like super tan, right?
Yeah.
Like it's that everybody like made jokes
George
about
Hamilton
him being
playing fucking Evel Knievel.
Yeah, the Evel Knievel toy with the motorcycle. Yeah, I think
I had that.
My brother had that too. Yeah.
That was the main toy.
Yeah.
I think sold a lot. Kenner, I think, made that.
I think they did, yeah. Because I remember the commercials too. I think my brother might have had it or one of our cousins. Because I remember somebody having that at our house.
And then there was a bigger $6 million man. You could look through the back of his head. Fucking see.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I used to love those old fucking toys, man. I wish I still had some.
Came with an engine block. You could put it in his hand like that. And he'd fucking lift the engine block up.
That's some cool fucking toys back then, man. I was like trying to remember because I wrote a thing on oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Nile.
Oh, what happened here?
Thank you. Thank you.
Bam.
Thank you. Thank you. Bam.
Bam. Let me see them flash bulbs. Thank you very much.
Tom, did you ever use paint or lipstick to draw on your towel? Like to maybe draw an S like a Superman cape or something?
I'm trying to remember what the towel was. It was a colored towel.
Yeah.
It wasn't a bath towel. It was a beach towel.
A beach towel. Those are bigger.
Yeah, they were bigger. And it had something. I'm trying to remember what it was. It was probably something like a Jaws beach towel.
Oh, I like that.
Remember that?
So you were like a shark.
Which
superhero.
That's weird when you think about it. You're going to the beach
and like just looking at the shark's face,
and it's got a damn shark from Jaws.
When you go in the ocean,
going to the ocean, you got the fucking jaws beached out.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have handled that.
Yeah,
I was already scared.
That was 70s though, man. Of course,
I was already scared of sharks.
I
told you, and it's like it was something that I always worried about because, like I said, I'm like super terrified of like deep water and everything. Even though I grew up in Daytona Beach, like right on the ocean, and my mom loved the beach, so she used to take us there all the time when we were growing up. And but it was something I always thought about. Like sometimes I'd be swimming out there, but then I'd be like, yeah, I think it's time to go in. It's like I just know I have a bad feeling about the sharks. And then later on, when I was in junior high or high school, and I took marine biology, and I still remember an aerial shot of Daytona Beach, and there was just like, here's all the little peoples in the water or whatever, and then like right there, it's just like shark. There was just fucking sharks everywhere. Some of them might be dolphins. But because the dolphins would like come into the river sometimes. But I was just, after that, I was just like, yeah, I think I'll just like stay in ankle deep water. I did have a small shark like swim against my leg one time when I was out there. And I was like, okay, that's enough ocean for today. Thank you.
Yeah. You're talking about some of these. Yeah, that's right. In the Biotic Man one, $6 million man, you could, I think, roll things back and take biotic implants out of his arms. Somebody's talking about Pulsar, man. I think that's the one that had the clear chest. And you could pull it back, and if you pump the back of it, his circulatory system would go through.
Oh, I remember that. And I had totally forgotten about that toy.
Yeah, and he had a red and black outfit, like one red leg and one black leg and one black arm and one red arm.
Yeah.
And it was like a jacket, I think. And I think you actually lifted his face up, and underneath there was like a damn fucking disc that you could put in his face.
Oh man,
like
that's bringing back some memories.
Like a computer CD.
Yeah.
Before they had CDs, and it was the kind where you moved it. If you tilted it, looked like it was moving. It looked like the fucking disc was spinning. I think that was the same toy. You might have to correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the same guy with the circulatory system. I think behind his face you could also put a damn disc. I think. I
remember something like that. Stretch Armstrong. We had one of those. We had a Stretch Armstrong, and we had the one that looked like the creature from the Black Lagoon, kind of. He was like green and scaly.
Yeah, and the guy says Rom, a Space Knight. I remember that one too. That was a silver guy. They had a cartoon, they had a comic book for it, but I never really got into it. They never really got Rom. They didn't quite get it right though. It didn't look as cool as a Shogun Warrior.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
And then later, Battlestar Galactica came out. I was getting some of those Battlestar Galactica toys, and I think, if I remember correctly, I had a big Cylon. But then later on, they had a big old Boba Fett too, which is worth a lot of money now.
Yeah, we never got one of those.
I had the Boba Fett.
We had a shit ton of Star Wars toys because, like I said, we had girl toys, boy toys, everything like that. Because I have two younger brothers. One brother who's 4 years younger than me. So he got like a lot of, he had one of the big AT-ATs, and he had we had all the little bitty like Star Wars, the little ones that had like the die cast figures
ships?
that were little tiny. And then they came with like the little miniature sets. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I didn't have those.
Yeah, we had a bunch of those. And we had some of the play sets. We had Hoth, we had Dagobah. We had like a whole bunch of
I had some of the metal Star Wars ships. Like they had one that was a Millennium Falcon about the size of your hand, and the other one was like a Star Destroyer that was, about 7-8 inches, 6 inches long. They had metal.
Yeah,
it was funny because they were the same size, but they weren't to scale. You know what I mean?
Right, like in relation to each other.
They weren't to scale to each other. Yeah, I didn't really like them that much because they weren't to scale.
Yeah, because you're like, well, they can't even fight each other.
They can't fight each other.
It's not like in the movie.
Looks fucking crazy. Yeah.
Tom, did you ever collect lunch boxes? Remember those back in the day? I didn't really collect them, but I had one. I would get like a new one every year, a new one. I remember having a Charlie's Angels one. I had a Dukes of Hazzard one.
Yeah.
I had a Muppets one. I had a Peanuts one.
Yeah. Like
the metal ones. I think I had a Garfield one too, but that one might have been plastic.
When I was real little, I think I had one that was Snoopy on it.
Yeah.
Because I think he was Snoopy as a Red Baron.
Oh, that's pretty cool. The one I had was all the Peanuts characters, Lucy and Charlie Brown with the football or something like that.
Then by the time I was like in the third grade, I had a Kiss one.
Nice.
Yeah,
I had a friend that had one of those.
A Kiss one. Yeah. I think it was Kiss. Yeah.
I think I liked my Muppet one the best. Yeah. I was like, I really like the Muppets. I still like the Muppets.
Yeah.
I had you remember? Did you have any Color forms. Because for some reason I really, really liked color forms. And I had a Muppet set that was like the background was like a nightclub. And then they had like all the little, like Miss Piggy could like be up on the stage dancing and like people be sitting there and shit like that. I had a Peanuts one of those too. I had a Batman one. Yeah, I had a shit ton of those. I think my favorite toy when I was a kid still, and I wish I still had it, was the Weeble Haunted Mansion. It was like a dollhouse, but it was like a haunted house and it was like all creaky. The door creaked to like when you opened it and there was like little secret passages. And it came with a witch, which I still have, even though I lost her hat. It came with a ghost who glowed in the dark. And then it came with like 2 kids, a boy and a girl. And they were making faces like, oh my God. Like they were making like scared faces. And I really wish, I think all I have left of it is the witch. Yeah. And I'm really upset because, I mean, I guess I could buy one on eBay. It's just like, I don't know why. I just really, really liked that toy a lot. Because anything to do with like haunted mansions and shit.
Something's
like
at the front door.
Uh-oh, shit.
Go check.
Uh-oh.
Might be a box.
Maybe someone delivered some stuff. Oh, Spider-Man color forms. Yeah, I think we had that too. And there was another thing. I don't even remember what the hell these were called, but I used to get them like at the convenience store, like next to my grandma's house. But they were kind of like color forms, but it would come in like in a paper thing, like the size of a comic book a little bit. And then it was wrapped in plastic. And then you bought it and it folded out into like a big scene. And then it came with like these little figures that you could like rub on there, like with a, like with the back of a pencil or something.
That big old picture frame I ordered a couple days ago.
Oh yeah. For your,
for the thing poster.
For your thing poster. Yeah.
Yep.
We need to, okay. So I wondered what that was. It's Dennis Rader at the door. Don't open it. He better not be out there. He's in prison. So Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. That's
talking about these old toys. I had one called Sucker Man. Remember Sucker Man?
Sucker Man.
Sucker Man.
So what, sucker like he was stupid or sucker like octopus?
Yeah,
suckers?
He looked kind of like the creature from the Black Lagoon. He had the long tentacles for his arms and his legs, and there were suction cups all over it. It looked really cool in the box, but it was rubber.
Yeah.
But when you flipped it over, it was only like 2-dimensional. It was all concave on the other side.
What?
Yeah, real cheap. I thought it was going to be like 3D.
Well, yeah, and you would think that. They
were showing it in the commercials. You could throw it anywhere. It would stick like on the ceilings and shit.
Oh,
Yeah. But it didn't actually do that.
Of course.
How are you going to get it to stick to a popcorn ceiling?
Yeah, they didn't really think that.
So it really only worked on the damn refrigerator and the glass and on the fucking windows and shit. I was throwing that shit at the window. My mom was like, "Don't throw that shit at the window. Going to break the window, Sucker Man. That one was.
I can't believe that was what they decided to call it. What about Octoman was right there?
Sucker Man,
or even Squid Man.
And then it was because I was in this phase where I bought this fucking Stretch Armstrong.
Yeah.
Remember that thing? That toy that is a guy. He's looking like a wrestler.
Yeah. We were talking about that earlier because I had the one that looked like kind of like the creature from
Black from Black,
or the monster. Yeah,
well, that's the one I wanted. I wanted the one that looked like a creature from Black.
Yeah, he was cool.
Yeah, but I couldn't find it. All right, but I found Sucker Man. So I got Sucker Man. So that's like that. Not really.
That was like the knockoff.
It looked in the package. It looked cool. I was like, oh, all right, yeah. And I get it. And it's fucking like two-dimensional.
You were like, what?
Yeah.
Oh, and that's when you understood that advertising lied to you.
Yeah.
Another one I liked was, I can't even remember what it was called now, but it was like it was like a little monster. It had like, it was big. It was like this big, and it had like a monster head, and then its middle part was clear. And there was like little stitches in the front, and you could pull it off and like pull open his midsection. And he had like all these guts in there. You could take him out. And then it came with like all this gloop, and you could put the gloop in there and then stuff all his little organs back in there.
I don't remember that one.
I don't remember what it's called, but I really liked that.
You're younger than me. So that's after my time, I guess.
It might've been. Yeah. Cause I think it was actually my brother got it, and I was probably a little too old, but I thought it was cool cause it was a monster. And also, the Play-Doh, like mad scientist thing.
Yeah.
They had like a little mad scientist lab mat, and it had like came with all these little molds where you could make little Frankensteins and little mummies and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, it's like, and anything, I mean, even from as long ago as I can remember, like when I was a little kid, anytime if you wanted to like super make me happy with a toy, it's like, just give me something that had like vampires and shit on it. I'd have been like all over it.
See, I also got off into these Micronauts.
Yeah.
You guys might remember those.
My brother had those. Yeah.
I had all these little time travelers, and they're called time travelers.
Yeah.
And they had a bunch of, they came in a bunch of different colors. And then some of them were bigger than others. And one of them was like a magnetic one. He had arms and legs, and he came with a horse too. You could combine him into a damn cyclops. Not cyclops, it was centaur.
Centaur, yeah.
And it was jet black, but they sold a white one too. But I didn't realize what I was looking at. The jet black one and the white one, if you took the head off, actually, the white one especially, right? It was jeeg. Remember the Japanese jeeg?
Yeah.
Cast in white or black, and the black one, they changed his head to look a little bit more like a Darth Vader. But those were Japanese toys that rebooted for the United States.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
because they were just kind of like, these are cool looking, and kids will buy them because they're cool looking. It doesn't have to have.
Didn't have to have a. But the thing is in Japan there was a cartoon that went along with it.
Yeah.
And the Micronaut that was sold as like Andromeda, I think is what the name of the damn thing was. That was actually just jeeg, done in different colors with a different head.
Well, it's easy. All you need to do is do the fucking.
And they didn't have jeeg here, so.
So everybody could just say, "Hey, it's like a cool ass fucking."
Yeah, so they released it as a Micronaut.
Yeah, Maria Suara mentioned Easy Bake Oven. I had one of those.
With the light bulb in it.
Yeah, mine was like the old timey stove one that looked like, I think it was Holly Hobby. It's weirdly, you could make an apple pie in there that was legit pretty good. You know what I mean? Like you wouldn't think that was only like this big, like a little personal apple pie. The chocolate cake was decent, but I think the apple pie was the best one. Yeah,
girls had that. I remember girls having that.
Yeah, I had one of those, and she talked about the creepy crawler, like the thing maker. We had one of those. We had the little, I don't remember what the name of it was, but it looked like a little smelting plant kind of, and you would put like these wax discs or crayons or whatever, like in this metal thing at the top that got super hot because they didn't have safety standards back then. And you could like melt it and then pour it into a mold, and you could make little cars. Like it came with like all these little wheels and axles. So you could make like all these little cars and race them and stuff, and you could make them out of wax. So, we had that too, burned ourselves on it several times. We also had one of those things where you could burn into wood.
Yeah, that's right. It was Baron Karza. That's right.
Yeah.
Force Commander was the white one. They were magnetic. Yep. They made a jeeg version. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. Baron Karza, that's what his name was. He was kind of like a rip-off Darth Vader. He was black, and he had kind of like a head, kind of like Darth Vader. Then the white one was jeeg.
Yeah.
It's just that in Japan, jeeg was green and yellow.
Yeah.
But it was that same.
Because I remember when we used to go to that comic book store, they had like a big jeeg head, or it was like a coin bank or something like that.
And the horse was also part of the jeeg program. That was like, I think they made that in the jeeg series. And, and if you like, you should watch jeeg. Jeeg is actually pretty good. You can get it you could probably get it burned, pirated off of eBay. I got a lot of fucking Japanese stuff pirated off of eBay because they won't release it here.
Yeah.
Because Japan has fucked up copyright laws. But jeeg was Go Nagai, same guy who did Grandizer and Mazinger Z and Great Mazinger and both Get a Robo and Get a Robo G.
That was my favorite theme song. Was the Get a Robo one.
Real good theme songs. Go Nagai he wrote manga, for comic books, and they later on made him into cartoons. But Go Nagai wrote good shit. Probably Grandizer would be his best one.
Yeah.
But yeah, OG. But the horse was also part of that series. I think later on they made that horse for jeeg. You could kind of combine with it. It was like a cyborg.
Yeah.
Jeeg was a cyborg.
Somebody asked me if I ever had the Tiffany Taylor doll who could switch from blonde to brunette. I did indeed have that doll. I had forgotten it was called Tiffany Taylor. Was that the same one? Because her head, like her scalp turned around, right?
I remember that.
Yeah, she had like black hair in the front and then blonde hair. Wasn't she the same one that also tanned? Like she came with stickers, and you could put a sticker on her that was like shaped like something, and then you lay her out in the sun and her skin would tan, but it would leave like a white spot where the sticker was. I'm pretty sure that was the same one. But yeah, I remember her head turned around. I don't remember where I got that from. I didn't have like a shit ton of Barbies. My cousin had a bunch of Barbies, and sometimes she would bring them over and we would play with them. I wasn't a big doll person. Like I liked some dolls, but it wasn't like my favorite thing. Usually I liked like creepy toys or creative toys. Like I had like a little pottery wheel and little painting sets and books and stuff like that.
Air Jammer Road Rammer. I don't remember that one.
Oh, that sounds kind of familiar though.
Yeah. I don't remember that one.
I mean, that show, The Toys That Made Us, is on Netflix or something like that. Yeah, it's a good series. That's like a really fun show. Like remembering all the shit about. It's just funny, like thinking of like the He-Man toys and everything like that. Yeah, that's one of the best ones, right there. And thinking of how basically they just wanted to make a toy. They just made the cartoon because they wanted to sell the toys. Like the cartoon was kind of like an afterthought.
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen Toys That Made Us, go see that on Netflix.
Yeah,
and go watch the He-Man one. That's really one of the best episodes.
Yeah, they're all good, but it's like, I think the He-Man was probably the most.
Those are the toys that I kind of came up with, actually, even before that too. And that was the old school toy development. Fucking just creative guys together, fucking hanging out, trying to figure out what are we gonna sell little boys. Come on, just the craziest shit ever. And they had a whole fucking plan. And they were just kind of making it up as they were going and bouncing it off one another. It's kind of funny. These toy gangsters really is what they are. Toy gangsters / nerds trying to find an in, a way to get boys to spend their parents' money, to drive them fucking crazy. All that, I got the power. All that was because little boys realized they didn't have any power. Their moms were bossing them around, so they needed power. So they went right for that.
You're not the boss.
I got the power. Yeah, that's exactly. They understood little boy psychology.
Well, they did like a whole bunch of marketing research and stuff like that to find out. And that was the word that kept coming up.
And they had a piece of shit toy they had to sell. It was already molded, and it was a damn tiger that was this big. And they said, we're going to sell that. And it was just like fucking tiger. And how the hell are we going to sell it? Make it green and put a saddle on it. Put him on it.
Space tiger.
Going to ride a tiger like that. That's how He-Man was invented, because they had a fucking tiger they had to sell.
That was one of my favorite stories about that. Is just because I liked their creativity in coming up with, well, this is what we got. So we got to figure out a way to like make a narrative out of this somehow. And then like, shit that we had lying around.
And the one guy's like, that's not the scale. That is not the scale. That tiger's too big. And he goes, we're going to have him ride.
He's going to ride on the shit.
And they're like,
and it worked out. And everyone's like
scratching their heads. I got the power. And then they're trying to show it to people. And they're like, well, what's this to? Why? And he goes, is there a, and he goes, we got a comic book for it. Oh, you got a comic book. They were pulling that shit out of their ass.
There's like,
and we got a television. There's going to be a television series. They pulled that all out of their asses just on the spot, that there was going to be comic books and a TV show. But it worked, because then they showed them the drawings of what they were making. Like, okay, they make a great TV show.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. It's like, that's what was so funny about it, because they're just so fucking ballsy about going to all these like investors and shit like that, going, hey, we got this, that, and the other. And they didn't have any of that. No. They just like quickly, once the guy said, okay, that sounds good, they're like, now we got to get somebody to actually do this.
And then what killed it was Ciarra. That's what killed it, because the little girls wanted that too. And as soon as they had a little girl version, the boys went, oh, fuck that.
Oh, girls are yucky.
Because there's just a universal truth, man. The fucking boys are sexist. The little boys are sexist. They don't want little girls.
Until they hit puberty.
But when they're little boys, like, no, little girls.
We don't want any girls stuff. No.
And a lot of people have said that's why the new Star Wars didn't work, because nobody was interested. The little boys weren't interested in the toys, because the toys were mostly female oriented. Who's going to fucking buy what little boy? Think about this. I try to put myself in the shoes of a little boy today. I go into a Toys R Us, and I see an action figure of Admiral Holdo with the damn purple hair and the dress. I would never buy that. That's like, where's her gun?
I kind of feel like those were probably geared toward completist collectors more than children.
Yeah, but the thing is what made Star Wars so successful was all those fucking toys that those boys bought.
Yeah.
Without having the little boys on board, you weren't going to fucking sell any toys. And if you weren't going to sell any toys, then you couldn't justify $1 billion movie. It's just because it was just something to try merchandising, you know.
BZS movie said I had Castle Grayskull and would put my hamster on that trapdoor.
See, I was a little bit too old for He-Man. I was already, I think, in high school when He-Man came out.
Yeah, because you're a couple years, you're 2 or 3 years older than me.
But my experience with He-Man was my best friend, his little brother was fucking big into He-Man. And me and Steve used to just laugh our asses off.
Oh, was this that kid?
This Googsy had it. Googsy, he's the one who was talking to his little rabbit, like, what's up, Dwayne?
Yeah.
He called the rabbit Dwayne. He was the weirdest kid ever, man. The weirdest kid ever. Dwayne.
I still say that every now and then after you told me.
We started calling Googsley Dwayne. Son, Dwayne. And just, fuck you. He was like 10, not even 10, probably 8. Fuck you. He was fucking nuts. But yeah, he fucking loved He-Man. And we I was like I had just graduated from high school, moved back from Brazil, and went back to Michigan, was hanging out with Steve before he went out to college. And fucking spent that whole fucking summer with Steve and shit. Fucking, I was living in he had a little fucking room down in the basement that he built. That was where you'd all get high and shit. You know?
Well, yeah, as you would.
And he'd go down there and play bass and fucking get high. During high school, fucking, we'd go in there and we'd fucking screw chicks and shit in this fucking room. It was our hangout pad, smoking weed. Anyway, I lived in there for like a couple months before I got my own place. Anyway, those fucking He-Man toys were everywhere. And me and Steve would fucking look at them like, what the fuck is that? Every one of them was roided out. They did weird shit, like you pressed a button and the whole top end of it would spin around. We kind of made fun of them. We made fun of them. Yeah, we made fun of them because they were just so extreme.
Yeah.
But if we were Googs' age, we fucking would have loved them. I mean, they were ridiculously macho.
Yeah.
You look at that shit that like from Commando and Predator.
That's kind of like the whole, I was going to say, that's the whole 80s like action movie aesthetic. We're like so over the top macho that it turned around and became homoerotic.
Exactly. Again. That's what we were kind of thinking. That's kind of what we were thinking. We're like, this shit's just fucking over the top.
Well, and you could tell that the people that designed it, if you like watch the Toys That Made Us and stuff, like the people that designed the characters and stuff, that's kind of what they were.
Yeah.
I mean, they were just like going completely over the top and having a good time with it. You know what I mean? They weren't like taking it super serious.
I've seen some of these Generation Z dudes doing movie reviews like on Commando and Predator 1. And I don't want to call them soy boys, but they're soyish. You know, they're soy. And they totally misunderstand the era. Like they would see Commando and think that the whole thing was a comedy, or think Predator 1 is a satire. Or they think Predator 1 is a critique of toxic masculinity or some weird shit like that. No, man, that was the fucking era. That was the time that shit was serious.
Yeah, they didn't think too much.
They didn't think much about it. That's the way it was.
They were just like, well, everything in the 80s was over the top.
Over the top.
Everything.
Right.
Everyone had big hair, big shoulder pads. Everything was like big and extravagant and
steroids
overdone.
Steroids and steroid use was fucking in style. Dudes that looked like that were in style.
Yeah, like I said, everything was
it was
over the top.
But the thing is it was not some kind of fucking what I'm saying. It was not some kind of political statement or anything. It was for real.
Well, yeah, it hasn't got to a thing because I think like after the 90s, everything like went post irony kind of thing. You know what I mean? Where it was kind of like everything was like
ironic.
And
that's what they thought it was ironic.
Which I can see why you would think that, because if you didn't grow up during that time period, you don't have any context.
Right.
Because, you know, if you were born after the 90s when everything was like,
and what was funny
was tongue in cheek and self-aware, but it wasn't really in the 80s. Some of it was, but I don't think. And
they were like, yeah, did you see him? He beat that dude up over that little thing. And then he threw that other dude. Yeah, it's satire. Like, no, man, back in the 80s, you'd get your ass beat. Dude would beat your fucking ass in the 80s. That's just what they did.
Well, yeah.
You got out of line, you get your ass beat. It's a reality. And, you know, it's a reality in certain neighborhoods that shit's still going on. But I guess you could say they're coming up in the fucking middle class kind of suburbia or something. You know what I mean? And I guess I guess ass beatings are out of style. I don't understand it. I've seen dudes at the club do shit and get away with it. And I'd be like, if he did that to me, I'd have fucking beat his fucking ass for doing that shit. But they do it now.
Yeah.
You know? You've seen him.
Yeah.
See that dude come. Actually, I almost did beat that dude's ass. Remember the one that came up, who was fucking with you, and then he starts fucking with me, and I threw his ass across the fucking dance floor?
Yeah.
And that girl goes, that was fucking beautiful.
It was very graceful. It was very graceful.
But the thing is, I let him go. You know?
Yeah. And you didn't get in trouble because the bouncers know us and they saw everything. So they were like, man, that guy deserved it.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, we had a female friend who had a guy that was fucking with her, and she just like socked him right in the fucking face.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just,
and he got kicked out. She didn't.
They're just from a different era. Yeah, they're just from a different era, I guess.
Somebody's asking about the Aurora model kits from the 60s and 70s. I remember those fondly. I did not have any of those. I really wanted some, like really badly. They were like, they had like a Creature in the Black Lagoon, and they had Frankenstein's monster and all that kind of stuff. Like I said, that was totally up my alley, because anything to do with like horror or witches or vampires or ghosts or anything like that, I totally wanted that shit. I was thinking about it the other day too, because a long time ago, like I wrote a blog post about some of my favorite toys when I was growing up, or like some of the horror themed toys that I liked. And I had completely forgotten about this fucking game that I had. But when I was doing research about it, I saw a picture of it, and it just like brought back all these feelings and memories and everything like that. There was a game, and it was called, well, it had a couple of different names. I think when I had it, it was called Witch, like, you know, which is it? But it was like a 3D game. Like you constructed this little haunted mansion, like out of cardboard or whatever. And then I don't remember exactly how you played it. I think you just had to go through this mansion and like not get like eaten by witches. I don't remember what the fucking thing was, but I remember like all the playing pieces were little mice. They were little plastic mice that were different colors. I remember there was like a clock in there that played into it somehow that kind of looked like the one in the Haunted Mansion at Disney. And I think there was like trapdoors and shit. But I'd have to look that up again, because it's like I remember really liking that game, and me and my brother playing it all the time. That game and fucking Mystery Mansion. I fucking love Mystery Mansion. One of the games that I designed, Three Sorrows, is kind of like a Suspiria-esque version of Mystery Mansion, where you kind of like build a little house like while you go and shit.
Okay, questions and comments and shit. Where did it go?
Yeah, somebody remembers the Witch board game. It had another name too. I think it was just called Haunted House or something like that. All but right. the version I had was called Witch. The box looked the same, but the name was different.
All right, Wacky Walkers. No, I don't remember Wacky.
I remember those.
I don't remember.
They were the little. They looked like a little squid or an octopus, right? But they were just like that squishy plastic, and they were sticky.
They were 1.5 inches tall, and they were wind up robots.
Oh, okay, no.
No.
I remember those. Okay, I know what he's talking about. I thought he was talking about wall walkers.
All right.
Like mall walkers, but
tell me to put the pad down and make predictions. I'll make predictions in a bit. The G.I. Joe hovercraft. I remember that hovercraft. I think it was probably about 2 feet wide, about 3 feet long. I think that's the same one. I may have had that. I had the G.I. Joe. One of the G.I. Joe sets I had, it was a big tower. And it had a line, and he could slide down the tower, and I had a damn 6-wheeled vehicle that he could ride in, and a damn Egyptian sarcophagus that he could dig up.
Oh,
yeah. And then I had a lot of the Vietnam era stuff where he had BARs and fucking green fucking uniforms and camouflage special forces uniforms and shit.
Yeah, my brother had a bunch of the GI Joes. I remember liking the little figures. Who was the one that was like, he was like a little firefighter? Like his little outfit was yellow and red.
Remember the metal ones? Remember the metal G.I. Joes? They were like little metal, die-cast metal soldiers, but their skin was chrome, even though they had fucking green uniforms. They were made out of solid metal. They were fully articulated. They were really cool, but I forgot what they were called.
Yeah.
Metal Man, maybe, I think is what they were called. I really like those.
Yeah, okay, that sounds familiar. Yeah, which alternate names? Ghost Castle, Haunted House, New Haunted House. Yeah, because I think the version I had, and I think I might have got it secondhand, because you know, my parents, you know, they would sometimes like find some games like at, Goodwill or whatever. I had the one that was called Witch, but when I was looking at it online, I saw one that was called Haunted House too, but the box looked just the same and the game looked just the same. It was just like the name that was different. I'm not really sure why they named it something else.
Metal Man. That's right. Metal Man. Metal Man was real cool. They made a lot of them. Some of them look like SWAT team guys. Some of them look like Special Forces commandos. They were like sleeveless and they were in their fucking painted green uniforms. It was funny. It's like all the skin was chrome, like they were
shiny and
chrome. They kind of look like the T1, the T1000 from the from Terminator 2, kind of like that. Yeah. But they had clothes on. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Somebody says, oh, there's a good modern haunted house game called Revenge at House on the Hill. I've heard of that, but it's like, and it looks really cool because, since I design my own games, I kind of, research other games and stuff like that. And that looks like one I really, really want to play. That one. And I found this other really cool one. It's super expensive though, so I haven't bought it yet, called, I think it's called Letters from Whitechapel or something like that. And it's kind of like where you play a cop and you have to like try to catch Jack the Ripper, like before he, kills one of his victims. And that looks super cool. Although I was reading through the rules, I'm like, wow, this looks really complicated. I don't know if I have time to like figure out how to play this. But yeah, like all this I used to really like board games and I still like designing them. But Tom I can't really get into playing any games with me, so it kind of sucks. Your ambience got here. Betrayal at House on the Hill. Yeah, that's right. That was one that I looked at because it's kind of similar because I'm working on a Halloween one, like a Halloween themed one, but I'm also working on another like Giallo themed game, like another murder mystery type of game. And I'm kind of using some aspects of Betrayal in the House on the Hill and like a couple of other games and a little bit of Letters from Whitechapel and a little bit of some other rules and shit like that too. Because, it's that when I get like to these certain like murder mystery games, I kind of like the idea. Oh, thank you very much, Mango Badger. Thank you very much. I get to a point where it's like, I want to do a murder mystery game. And I like the idea of, like these party games where it's this whole mystery, like everybody comes over and they have to solve it. But the only thing I don't like about those type of games is that you can only play them once, like with one particular group of people. Because once the mystery is solved, then everybody knows what the solution of the mystery is. So you can't play it again. So I'm trying to do like murder mystery games that are like that, but that are a different murder every time, kind of like Clue, where, you can change it up every time. So you don't get a thing where you can't play it more than once. You know what I mean? So it's kind of hard to, think of a way to do that without it getting like really complicated. But, that's kind of what I'm trying to do. Yeah, there you are.
I'm back and I feel like I'm 2 pounds lighter.
Ew. What did you do in there?
Took a leak. Look at that, man. Let me see on flash bulb. Damn.
Yeah, so he said that's why Clue rocks different
solutions. Exactly. For Tom. Happy birthday, dude. Thank you very much. Happy birthday. Actually, no, thank you. I can't wish you a happy birthday. It's not your birthday.
Well, maybe it's their birthday. I don't
Drinking.
know. We're drinking in the afternoon.
Yeah.
I guess it never did storm really bad. I heard all the thunder and I thought it was going to be like worse than that. Yeah, happy unbirthday. That's what I was thinking. I used to have that. Remember the Disney Alice in Wonderland that had that A Very Merry Unbirthday song? I had that. Did anybody? Okay, here's another thing you remember from childhood. Disney used to put out, like every time they did an animated movie, they put out these big record albums that had all the songs from the animated movie. And then it had like a book, like a little booklet inside the sleeve that you could pull out and you could like follow along. So I had an Alice in Wonderland one. I had the Aristocats that had the, you know what I mean?
You're going down record albums then from childhood, right?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. All right, I'm going to give you guys
the Mad Hatter song. Exactly.
I'm going to tell you guys what my favorite album was as a kid. I would listen to it over and over and fucking over again with my fucking headphones on. It was Thin Lizzy's War of the Worlds album.
That's
It was
cool,
a double album.
Yeah.
Of the War of the Worlds.
See what a cool kid you were?
It was narrated by Richard Burton and a whole bunch of other people. And you can hear it on YouTube. And they've actually done live productions of it with the damn Martian war machines and all kinds of shit.
Yeah, we were watching one on YouTube a few months ago.
But I love that fucking, I think it was a double album.
Yeah.
And I would listen to that shit over and over again. Fucking, War of the Worlds.
You know what's fucking hilarious? One of my favorite albums when I was little, because my dad is like a huge Beatles fan, right? So I got into the Beatles when I was like really, really young. And I know this, probably everyone's going to laugh about this, but I saw that terrible, but also I still kind of love it, the Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band movie with the Bee Gees and Alice Cooper and Aerosmith and stuff in it. Or no, Alice Cooper wasn't in it, I don't think. Was he? I don't know. Aerosmith was in it. Bee Gees were in it.
Oracle says her husband has that damn War of the Worlds album.
Yeah, see, it's cool, right?
Yeah, it was made by Thin Lizzy.
Yeah.
Or Thin Lizzy.
Yeah.
Thin Lizzy, and it had like an all-star cast, and Richard Burton did the narration, and it's rock music and it's pretty cool. It's almost like it's almost kind of like a Pink Floyd album, but it's got the entire narrated story of the War of the Worlds. It's kind of like the Orson Welles radio program, kind of.
Yeah.
But I thought it was like the most fun rendition of that story.
Well, it definitely is that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so because I liked that terrible Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band movie, which I'm kind of like afraid to watch it again because I loved it so much as a kid and I'm sure it's awful. Like if I watch it now. But so I really, really liked the Sgt. Pepper's album. My dad had a picture disc of it that had like the cover of it like printed on the vinyl, and it was really, really cool. And the funny thing is I used to listen to it when I was a kid. And when I was really little, I didn't know that when you had headphones on, I know this is going to sound really dumb, but I didn't know that when you had headphones on, other people couldn't hear the music. So I would have the headphones on, and my dad had this really expensive like stereo system. And so I would play the album and I would sing along to it with headphones on. So all they could hear was me singing along to it because they couldn't hear the music. And it's like, when I found out that all they could hear was me singing, I was like super, super embarrassed. Because I was like really stupid as a child, I guess.
Yeah, I think the Jeff Wayne musical version of him is basically the same thing as that album I'm talking about. Because I know they were doing that album live on stage also recently. And they had a whole show and everything. It might be the same thing.
Yeah, because when we were watching that on YouTube, that must have been like a year or two ago, but I don't remember when it was posted. But I remember it being really...
It was more recent. Yeah. They had a damn Martian war machine.
They had all...
Looked like it was right out of the damn...
it was
off the album cover.
Like they did like a huge production of it. It was awesome. All right. Are you done, or you want to talk about some more stuff?
No, we can talk about more stuff. I'm good. I haven't even finished with the drink yet.
Yeah, me either. Maybe I should go pee then.
Go ahead. I got it.
You take it. I still have like half a drink left.
Yeah.
And I don't know when that meat's gonna be done either. Everybody just like
it's 3:00, right? I can give it another hour. It's only 180 degrees.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you can cook something forever at that temperature. Doesn't make a big difference. Once it's done, it's done. All right, let me see some more of them flash bulbs. Let's see what everybody's saying. Tom has booze. The conversation continues. So is the Jeff Wayne show that same album that I'm talking about? Is he just doing that album? Okay, and Liam Neeson is narrating. What's up, Stiggs? The pork's probably going to be pulled pork. Probably put some barbecue sauce on it, make a sandwich out of it. Yeah, okay, it's the same album, right? All right. All right. So does anybody want me to make predictions? I predict that the shit's going to get more fucked up than it is now. It's going to continue to move in this fucking direction. And, man, It's not good. It's not good. And it's global. The entire West. Whatever's happening here is happening over there too.
I'm back. Obviously.
Asking what my favorite beer is.
Your favorite beer?
I like Weizen beer, man. German Weizen beers, white beers. Any of them, as long as it's good. You know, I like it kind of heavy and kind of sweet. But I'm not a huge beer fan.
No, me
either. It's a recipe for getting fucking fat. All right, I got to drink a lot of that to get drunk, and spend all your time pissing. And then you fucking get fat, man. Should get you fat.
Because a few times, I mean, because there's a couple bars we go to around here that don't have like a huge, like a full liquor license because they're very expensive to get in Orlando. So you go to like smaller places like the Falcon or something like that. So basically, they just kind of specialize in beers.
Yeah.
And I tend to like they had a vanilla porter for a while that I liked. I like coffee beers. I'm not like a big connoisseur. I don't like.
I'll drink Snakebite.
Yeah, those are good.
Yeah,
like especially like with the pear cider.
Yeah, it's like half stout and half cider.
Yeah.
And when we were at that one place, it was pear cider, but the apple cider is good, you know. And I'm not talking about it's alcoholic cider, you know.
Yeah.
It's like drinking wine and beer together.
I guess I didn't really, it's funny because I didn't really start drinking all that much until I was much older, probably like in my late 20s or 30s. Like when I was a teenager, I didn't really drink all that much. So it kind of took me a while. And I guess when I started drinking, I didn't really just start on beer. I just kind of like went right to the hard stuff. And you know, mostly I just like vodka and gin, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Yeah, people that don't want to be involved are going to get involved because it's be forced on them. Just like yesterday when that woman was trying to just go down the street and those people jumped in front of her vehicle and that guy shot her. They caught that guy a few hours ago. They got him. Got it right on video. No, they're all dressed in black, Antifa guys. If somebody gets in front, if I see dudes dressed in black jump in front of my fucking car, I'm just going to floor it. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to floor it. I'm going to run them right over. Because that woman just tried to get the fuck out of there and that dude opened fired on her and then shot through her back window. I'm considering that if you jump in front of my vehicle, then this is an attempted carjacking. I'm just going to run you over. And I ain't going to stop. And the cops are going to have to fucking kill me. All right. That's what I'm at now. If I'm going kamikaze mentally inside, they're just going to have to kill me. I'm not going to stand for it. It sucks because I got Jenny and Pookie, but they're just gonna have to fucking kill me. It's.
I'll be all right.
Should be all right. I'm gonna hook her up with a check.
Yeah, right. Me and Pookie be just fine. What's Pookie been up to today?
He's sleeping in the fucking upper thing. Sleeping in the top apartment.
She's fucking hilarious, man. Oh, thank you.
Money.
Thank you, Nico. Okay. Still working on the recipe book. Yeah. It's going to be a while, but I'm trying to I'm going to try and get it out before the end of the year. We have been working on it. It's like, it's kind of hard to, cause like I said, I'm kind of like at a place where I could probably start working on it, but it's kind of hard to get you and me coordinated on, cause I wanted you to like record yourself, like talking about the recipes so I could just like transcribe them.
Yeah. I have a whole list. There's a couple things I'm going to add to it. Probably on the Southern food section, but I'll remember it when the time comes. I might throw some breakfasts and shit in there too. That breakfasts. And then some of them is going to be kind of funny shit, I think maybe. But
well, like I said, there's tons of cookbooks, so it has to be funny. I mean, but you want shit in there that people can actually make that's actually good, but it has to be like funny.
I also want to put I want an Italian section in there because I want to talk about pizza. And how to make pizza dough and how to actually deal with dough. Because I think a lot of people are intimidated with working with dough. But it takes a while. It takes some trial and error. But making dough and fucking it up is not expensive.
Yeah.
So you don't lose much when you fuck up a dough. You know?
Yeah.
A few cents. Once you can make your own dough, you can make a fucking big ass pizza for under $1.
Yeah. Well, and not only that, you can make like a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you can make any kind of Italian bread.
Yeah.
With it. Because,
focaccia.
Yeah, if you know how to deal with dough, you can take a few cents worth of flour and a little bit of water and a little bit of fucking yeast and make a lot of food. And that's how fucking for centuries, that's how poor people got by. Bread.
Yeah.
And,
well, it's calorie rich and,
calories. Yeah.
And it doesn't cost that much to make.
And it's delicious. And you think that you've eaten a fucking huge meal fit for a fucking king. And all it was a little bit of tomato sauce and some herbs and some vegetables on it and some cheese, and you've made a big old meal.
The nice thing about making like pizza dough in particular is that pizza is such a, it's such a versatile, I mean, you can put pretty much whatever you got on there. I mean, we've made ones.
It's the ultimate poor people food.
We've made ones with blue cheese on them.
Yeah.
We've made ones with like cream cheese on them, which are delicious, by the way.
Yeah. You don't need tomato sauce if you don't want
to. You don't even, we've done ones with just like pesto. We've done ones with just, like a kind of a olive oil on them.
You don't even really need cheese.
Not really. It helps, but
just olive oil, herbs, and maybe some meat. That's, it's more like a focaccia.
Yeah, but that's still good.
That's all that is focaccia is just pizza without tomato sauce and cheese. You can still eat it. It's good.
Yeah. Any Brazilian style breakfast options, someone asked. What do they eat?
Okay. There? In Brazil, during the time I was there, what they basically eat is a piece of French bread with a bunch of raw fruit and coffee. That's and some cheese.
It seems like that's a pretty common European thing too, where they just have like a roll, like a croissant or something like that, and fruit and coffee.
Yeah, they're not breakfast eaters, really. Now they have a thing. The best thing that I liked that was considered to be breakfast by a Brazilian was something called vitaminas. And vitaminas is really just what we would call today a smoothie.
Yeah.
And they would take papaya and some other kind of fruit with some fruit juice and some yogurt or cream and blend it.
Yeah. And so like a lot of people do that here.
Yeah. And that was really the best thing. The rest of it was just fruit and coffee.
Yeah.
With a piece of bread and butter.
Which sometimes that's good. I mean,
Yeah, it gets boring.
Yeah.
When it comes to breakfast, America has superior breakfast to the entire world. Hash browns, omelets, fucking bacon and eggs, pancakes,
waffles,
waffles with strawberry waffles, blueberry waffles, fucking eggs Benedict, fucking, steak and eggs, ham and eggs, fucking
grits,
loaded grits, grits with red-eye gravy. It's just America. The American breakfast is a fucking meal, and you can eat it at any time of the day. Actually, I like breakfast at night when I'm drunk.
I do too. Every time, like seriously, if I wish downtown, like not so much nowadays, but when we used to go out drinking, like on Saturday nights, because whenever I'm drunk and we're out, that's all I ever want is eggs, or I want like a big, like I want a fucking Grand Slam, like from Denny's or something like that. Usually we would end up stopping at McDonald's and just getting like egg McMuffins and shit, or sausage McMuffin, which is superior to the egg McMuffin, I think.
Yeah.
In my opinion, and get some hash browns, I like some iced coffee. Like I like it too, but I like the sausage McMuffin better. It's just I like the ratio and the spices on it better. But I always want breakfast food. Like when I'm drunk, that's all I ever want. But the thing about it is that I really love, probably breakfast food is probably like my favorite category of food, or American breakfast foods. Like I love pancakes, I love waffles, I love eggs, I love all that kind of stuff. But it's like a lot of times, I mean, I wake up so early that my stomach is just not ready to face that much food like that early in the day. So usually if I eat anything for breakfast, I mean, I have coffee obviously, but usually I'll have something very small. I'll usually like a cup of yogurt with fruit in it, or, a piece of toast, or something like, or just like a hard boiled egg or something. Cause I can't like eat that much food. I like having big breakfast, but I usually like it later in the day.
I've gone through and seen foreigners' reactions to American breakfast. The Korean reaction, the Japanese reaction, the Chinese reaction, the European reactions. British people have the closest thing to an American. Well,
they have breakfast. A full English.
It's very.
And somebody just mentioned that too.
Yeah, right.
Because I had that a few times.
The American breakfast is an extension of the British breakfast, really.
It's similar.
Very, very similar. And everybody pretty much loves American fucking breakfast because there's so much to choose from. That fucking country gravy, that's good on biscuits, on an omelet. They call that a Southern omelet. There's a lot of shit you can do. Southern fucking white gravy or sausage gravy, that's good even with grits. Mm-hmm. And you see, a lot of Europeans do not understand the virtue of a grits.
Well, you can't eat them plain.
They do not know when the grit trees are in season. Okay.
The grit trees.
Grit trees. Grits, that's the American polenta.
Yeah, that's really essentially what it is.
All right. It's hominy, which you take dried corn that you would feed to cattle. You take that and you put that in a big bucket with a whole bunch of water and lye. And you let it sit there and it just blows up into something called hominy. You can buy that canned and it's like wet popcorn.
It is.
It's popcorn.
Yeah.
But
we always had cans of it in our
moist
cabinet at my grandmother's house.
You take that hominy and then you blend that to make little grits.
Yeah, make it like a little bit of
you take that and then you put cheese in it and sausage or bacon or fucking and diced red peppers and fucking Cajun seasoning in it and salt and pepper and butter. And it's just fantastic.
I mean, I can
hard-boiled eggs.
Yeah,
man,
I can eat it just with a bunch of butter and pepper in it. But it's much better if you put like hard-boiled eggs in it, or pieces of bacon or something like that.
Now here's the upside to grits: a 50-pound bag of grits might be $5. A grit trees are always in season. Grit trees are always in season.
Well, like I said, it's really funny that, I mean, I guess grits aren't as, I guess a lot of people shit on them before, but now that polenta is kind of like a bigger thing and it's kind of like a gourmet kind of food, I think people have kind of stopped.
American polenta.
It's like polenta or like cream of wheat, I guess, like a similar thing, except it's corn instead of wheat. But, you just have to know what to do with them. It's just, like I said, it's a sense of, I think people, if you eat it plain, I agree, it doesn't really taste like much of anything. It just tastes like wallpaper paste or something like that if you don't do anything with it. But it's a canvas. Yeah. You have to like paint upon it and add other things to it, and then it's good. You know what I mean? Because like, if you get like, for example, I haven't been to Denny's in a long time, but if you go to Denny's and you get like the Grand Slam, and if you get grits with it, they just give them to you plain and they really don't taste very good. You have to put like a whole fucking half stick of butter in there to make them taste good. But it's Denny's. What are you going to do? I don't know. I've never had Waffle House grits.
Oh, yeah. See, Mango, he's going, Tom, I love you, man. But the full English is you see, I jumped on that. Didn't see that. The British breakfast the American breakfast is an extension.
It's similar, yeah.
It's an extension of it. I think the full English inspired that.
Yeah.
The American breakfast. Just we had different components and then had a bunch of different ethnic traditions, and all that got put into,
because I can't remember, because I haven't, like, I had a few full Englishes while I was over there. I can't remember exactly what everything. I know there's eggs and there's some kind of sausage and usually tomatoes and something else. I can't remember what else comes with it. Somebody from over there needs to like remind me.
Okay.
What?
All right. Jair's saying that it's tricky dealing with dough. Dough is only tricky when you don't have enough fucking flour in it. Okay. If you slowly add flour to that dough, all right, and it starts off to be very gummy, it sticks to everything. And then as you're mixing and you slowly add the flour, as soon as the flour pulls away from the bowl and becomes easy to deal with, it's a ball that now holds onto itself and doesn't stick to anything else. You now know that you've basically absorbed all that water, and you now have something you can deal with. Once it's like that, you cover it in olive oil and you let it sit. Let it sit for a couple hours. It blows up. You keep kneading it back, and it a couple goes up again. You knead it back down. I'll make sure I'll write all of it down. And you usually want to let that sit at least 24 hours in the refrigerator. Dough's better cured for 24 hours. It's called controlled fermentation. Day 2 and day 3 is even better.
Yeah, I mean, you can use it when you've just made it, but it's much better if you let it sit.
Now, day 4, it starts getting a little questionable. 5 and 6, it starts to break back apart. You'll start smelling alcohol. It'll make a pizza dough. It'll make a really good pizza dough, but it's difficult to deal with. It wants to break apart instead of stretch. So you got to learn how to roll it right. You got to know how to fucking deal with the surface so it doesn't stick to it. Things like flour and cornmeal. You have to understand how to use that, but you get the feel for it.
And you have to realize too that if you're going to make pizza dough, you have to like plan ahead, like a day or two. Because what he'll do is he'll be like, well, I'm making some sauce today and we'll just have it on spaghetti, but then I'm also making dough and I'll let that sit for a day or two and then we'll use the rest of the sauce and make pizzas.
Yeah, over the next 4 or 5 days.
Right.
Now it will freeze.
Yeah.
And you make more dough than you're going to use. I make enough for about 6 pizzas. And I'll try to make 6 pizzas over a 3 or 4 day period. If not, you can freeze it.
Yeah.
But you got to let it thaw out at room temperature before you use it. But I've gotten to the point where I just use it all.
Yeah, I don't think we've frozen any dough for a long time. We just usually end up making pizzas over several days.
You can freeze it, but a thawed frozen dough, the consistency of that fucking pizza crust will not quite be as good as one that has never been frozen.
Yeah.
You want the outer part of the crust to be crisp, but you also want it to kind of stretch and pull as you bite it off. It's kind of chewy at the same time. It's a chewy center with kind of a crispy outside. And you want kind of that beer flavor to it, which is a yeasty flavor.
Yeah.
I'll write it down in the book. I'm getting kind of drunk.
Mango Badger says, fuck, I'm drunk. Sorry, guys. Yeah, well, we're getting there, too.
And there's a couple rules when it comes to fucking pizza. One of them is you want to stay away from all-purpose flour. You want heavy bread flour. That's the one. And here's another. You cannot, don't make me mad. Because they make me mad a lot. You cannot cook a pizza on metal. They try to cook this shit on a metal fucking pizza pan. You cannot cook a pizza dough on metal. It has to be cooked on stone.
Yeah.
So you buy a thing called a pizza stone because it cooks by induction. The fucking stone has mass and it's hot. When you put that cold dough on it, the heat is sucked right out of that fucking stone and goes right into that dough. And the cooking time's 12 minutes. Okay.
Yep.
12 minutes. It has to be cooked very, very high temperature, very fast through induction. You're not going to get that through metal.
And pizza stones are not horribly expensive. I think I think I gave you that one that we have now. I think that was $50.
Yeah, it's worth it though because it's thicker. It's thick. You want a thick,
I think
stone.
Before we had bought one because we bought one at the grocery store
that for like 20, and
I think it was 20 or 25, and
it
cracked eventually. Yeah. We used it for a while, but then it cracked eventually. So I bought like a much thicker one that was $50.
So you ask yourself,
and we still have that.
How the fuck do you get cold dough onto a searing hot 500-degree fucking stone? You must have a peel. It looks like a peel looks like a big old snow shovel. And you got to learn the techniques of getting a pizza onto that thing and off of that thing. You know, because pizza dough tends to want to stick. You got to use cornmeal.
Yeah. And you can't leave it because another thing that
can't stay long.
Well, and it depends on what kind of pizza you're making too, because we've run into problems with this too. The more shit that you put on the pizza,
the heavier it is.
The heavier it is. So what sometimes like if we make
stick like glue.
Like a chicken pizza or something like that, like with chunks of chicken on it, because we make that sometimes. What we'll do is like we'll just put like the light shit on the pizza, put it in the oven, then close the door, and then pull it back out and throw the chicken on there real quick.
And put it back in.
Because if you try to have everything on the pile, it doesn't want to go on the peel, and it's like it'll fall off the other side of the fucking.
Because when you have
we've had all kind of problems.
And you start with small pizzas first until you work your way up to the confidence. You got to take the peel and put it on the stone. You got to vibrate your hands back and forth like that and slide it off, shake it off, and pull it out from underneath there. You practice on your island or outside surface of getting a fucking pizza dough on and off a damn peel.
Yeah.
And then you put some sauce on it, and a little bit of cheese, and make it, and do the same thing with a cheese pizza over and over again. And you go, I can do that. And then you put a little bit of fucking pepperoni. That doesn't weigh much. You'll do it again. He goes, yeah, I can get it off and on there. And then then the last time you put it up in there and then do the same thing on the stone.
Yeah.
But if it's a fucking really thick pizza with like 6 toppings on it,
yeah, because you're
not gonna be able to do it.
If it's just like one that has like, because we do one like with pepperoni or just like, peppers or something like that. But if you start getting into, because we've made one with like chunks of chicken, like artichoke hearts, shit like that on there. Once you get into those kind of big, kind of a little
massive
bit wet,
pizzas, yeah,
kind of things, you probably want to wait until it's already in the oven.
Put it in as a cheese pizza, cook it for a few minutes,
and then
pull it back out, top it again because it's a lot
easier.
Pull
the rack out and then just like that's what we do.
It depends on what it depends.
Yeah,
it might be for some people to just take the pizza back off the stone. Leave it on the peel, chop it again, and then sling it back in there.
Yeah.
You could probably do that.
Because at that point, like the dough is probably like firmed up.
Yeah, it's firmed up underneath the bottom, so it slides a lot easier.
Yeah. I mean, he's been doing this for years and years. He's got and pizza is probably like...
What's one of the hardest ones?
And it's one of your signature things.
Yeah.
It's like whenever we have, parties or whenever we have a bunch of people over, we either make pizzas or we make Indian food because it's easy to make like a shit ton of that like at the same time. Indian food is good because you can make a bunch of that ahead of time, and like the second or third day, it's like even better than the first day.
They're saying Indian breakfast food is heavenly, especially South Indian. You're gonna have to give me more information. I don't really know what dishes they are. A lot of times Indian food, what I've been seeing for breakfast is just kind of like bread and vegetables and like a vegetable curry. It's not breakfasty from what I remember seeing. Although I may be wrong.
Well, it's funny for me
breakfast for Americans and British is centered around eggs.
Yeah.
Basically, some kind of an egg with something else. Either bacon or ham or
just toast. I just like a couple fried eggs and some toast. Like plain toast.
And then you take the egg and turn the egg into an omelet with cheese and some sausage, so it's variations of egg.
Either that or we like really sweet things. Like I said, like pancakes or waffles or donuts or something like that, which probably, I don't know. I wonder why like donuts became like kind of a breakfast thing. Cause that seems like it would be more of a dessert thing. You know what I mean? It seems because it's like cake more than breakfast.
Yeah. I didn't know donuts had anything to do with breakfast and English muffins.
Yeah. Well, it seems like donuts are kind of like that's, fucking Dunkin' Donuts. Their whole model was like people coming through there at breakfast time and getting coffee and a donut. And that was like breakfast time. But like I said, I would eat donuts for breakfast too. In fact, one of the most exciting things for me about staying in hotels, it's just a show. I don't stay in hotels that often, but I like to stay in hotels with like those fucking big old breakfast buffets that are free, and they just have like everything. Like they have a grit station and a waffle iron and like fucking all different kinds of cereal and those big long things. I'm like super excited about that. Big piles of donuts and bagels.
Oracle's saying she needs to make pizza. Yeah, this week. Yeah. If you don't know how to make it, there's tutorials on how to make it. But it's an investment to get into the pizza game. But once you've,
if you want to make a really, really good,
but once you've laid out the money to get the stuff you need to make it, it pays dividends because you don't have to go to a pizzeria anymore to have pizza. You can just make it.
Yeah, because the pizza you make is like way better.
Yeah, and it only costs a couple dollars each one.
Yeah, it doesn't. Now that we've already got the stuff, we got the stone, we got the peel, we got all that kind of shit. It takes some time. It takes time to make the dough. Like I said, you have to plan ahead. You make sauce from scratch, so that takes a while because usually you make.
I make it out of a damn number 10 can of fucking tomato paste. Not tomato paste, tomato sauce.
Yeah, that big one you get at Sam's, that big can. And he just like makes a huge
make a bunch of it at once.
pot of it. And then like you can do other things with it. Like you said, you can just, if you don't feel like making a pizza, you can just like cook up some spaghetti. And
coming out of a restaurant background, I don't think in terms of small portions, it's a waste of time. I think in terms of like large amounts, it's a lot more economical. I can get a big old 2-gallon jar of fucking pickles for the same price as a little bitty jar of pickles. Why not get the big 2-gallon fucking jar of pickles? And just, you know what I mean?
I'll just eat a bowl of pickles. I don't give a shit.
So, you know what I mean? Fucking, I know how to store things long term and have a lot of containers and.
We have two refrigerators. We have 2 fridges. We have one out in the garage. That's that we keep shit in. Yeah. So, and we go to Sam's like probably once a month. and just stock up on fucking tons of shit.
Yeah.
We have more food in this house than we will ever be able to eat. And we have like the pantry, and that's fucking all full. So, but yeah, that's the thing. It's like, you're really good at like figuring out something to make, and then, we'll eat off it for a couple of days, like leftovers. And then if there's anything left, you just stick it in the freezer. We can eat it later. And then we'll just like make something else. Speaking of which, we really need to get on. We have like all this shrimp we got to use.
Yeah. I'm going to make that curry.
I love fucking seafood. Yeah. And it's like, we were watching the fucking Gordon Ramsay Uncharted. Yeah. The one that was on Sunday night where he was in, where the fuck was he? Sumatra? Or I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm going to make a shrimp masala.
Yeah. He was making some kind of like, masala. I don't remember what he was making on that show, but it was like, it looked really fucking good. Like with all these, there's fucking shrimp that were like, almost lobster size, and they had like these big long like blue claws, like they caught them in a cave or something, and he was like making some kind of delicious looking curry with that, like with coconut milk and everything. You make a really good Thai curry too that has like peanut butter in it.
He's saying, does it really mean only a couple bucks for pizza? Am I exaggerating? Okay, well,
let's break this down. It's depending on what you're going to put on it, though.
Depends on what you're going to put on it. It depends on how much you laid out for the initial investment in terms of like, are you coming out of a 20-pound or a 50-pound bag of flour? Okay. I think I'm using 20-pound bags of flour.
I think it's a 20-pound, yeah.
And a 20-pound bag of flour is only a couple dollars.
How much was it exactly, though?
$70, $6, something like that.
Okay, I don't remember.
Something like that. And then...
we got it at Sam's, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like 2 pounds of... 2 pounds of yeast is about $3, something like that. And that lasts a year.
Yeah.
Each big batch of each big bowl that I make that can make 6 pizzas is only 6 cups of flour, 3 tablespoons of salt, 3 tablespoons of sugar, 3 tablespoons of yeast. So
somebody that's
less than $1.
Yeah.
Less than $1. And that makes 6 pizza crusts.
Now, one thing that might set you back is the mozzarella. If you're getting the really good, like the buffalo mozzarella, that is probably going to be your biggest expense because even the little cakes of it, like if you go to Sam's, I think you get 2 cakes of it that are, is that like $7, $8?
Yeah, something like that.
For 2 like cakes.
Hold on, let me break it down. So those 6 crusts are less than $1.
Yeah.
For 6 crusts. So the crust itself, there's no money there really when you break it down per pizza. A number 10 can of tomato sauce. It's unseasoned. It doesn't have any sugar or salt in it. And it doesn't have any seasoning in it. But just that big number 10 can, which is about a month worth of tomato sauce, I think is $3.
Yeah, it's cheap.
Yeah. Okay. The seasoning, once you make that number 10 can, the amount of seasoning and salt and peppers in there is probably about $1, $2. And that number 10 can will make a shit ton of pizzas and a whole bunch of bowls of spaghetti.
Oh, thank you, Nico.
Thank you. So next is cheese. You can get a big old thing of mozzarella for about $10.
That's like the part skim mozzarella.
That's a part skim mozzarella. And that's what you'd get at a pizzeria anyway. And you can get that from Sam's for about $10. How many pounds is that?
I think that's a 3-pound bag. It's 3 pounds or 5 pounds. I can't remember.
That probably makes about 8 pizzas.
Yeah, that makes a lot of pizzas.
More than 8 pizzas.
Like I said, if you want the buffalo mozzarella, which is actually better, that's going to run you more because you don't get as much. You just get like the 2 cakes for like $7 or $8.
Now that big package of pre-sliced pepperoni, that's a month's worth of pepperoni. It's about $8, $9.
And you can make a bunch
of pizzas with that. So just pepperoni pizzas, I'm saying the cost for a single pepperoni pizza is probably about $3. Sound about right?
Probably, yeah. Maybe 4, but it's like it's not really because, like I said, it's
pepperoni pizza. No, about 3.
Yeah, I mean each component, like if you buy it in bulk, you can make a lot of pizzas.
Make a lot of it, right?
And honestly, it's like I like pepperoni, but it's not my favorite topping. Plus, it gives me really bad heartburn.
Yeah.
So I mean, I like pizzas with just
right.
mushrooms or
right.
mushrooms and peppers,
and
or something
at
like
Sam's, you can get a big thing of uncut, fresh mushrooms. I think for about $3. And
yeah, mushrooms are super cheap.
Yeah, and
I love mushrooms.
Then there's all the different kinds of like red and green peppers that you can get. It's only a couple bucks. All that shit is cheap.
Yeah.
A 2-topping pizza is about $2.
Yeah.
And we're talking about a pizza that's the size of your pizza peel, because you can't put one bigger than your peel on it. So you're talking about a 12 to 13-inch pizza. About $2, I would say.
Yeah.
But you got to lay out more. You got to lay out more money at once to get these components, of course, because it's bigger.
Yeah.
But once you break it down, I would say around $2.
And like I said, it's kind of like anything else. Once you like spend all the money up front, you have to buy a pizza stone. Yes, you have to buy a peel. Yes, you have to buy this, that, and the other.
Yes,
you have to buy like
20
the
pounds
components.
of flour and 20 pounds.
But after you do that, you can make pizzas for like super cheap.
Yeah.
And like I said, we did have like a $20 pizza stone, and we had that for a while, but then then it cracked. And then so I specifically got one that was like much, much thicker, like a ceramic one that was $50.
Thank you, Nico. Let me see them flash bulbs, bro.
Minka Bear says, I've been listening to you guys while working safely from home, but it's now my lunchtime and I have to go. Hope you have an amazing birthday, Tom.
Thank you. Love from Mazatlan, Mexico.
There you go.
Thank you, Mika Bear.
We're gonna have to eat more cake later.
Yeah.
I bought you that whole
I would
cake.
love to go to Mexico. I'd love to go to Mexico City and some of the other places. I like South America. I haven't been to Central America though. But Brazil, Uruguay, Paraguay, Chile, Argentina, I've been to those places. And I really love South America growing up there. Mexico, of course, when I was actually born in Long Beach, California. And, I grew up with a lot of Mexican American kids. I was in the Army with a bunch of Mexican Americans. And Southern California was kind of like Northern Mexico. Really.
It is, yeah.
We had a lot of the fucking Mexican food and Mexican restaurants that are, owned by Mexican owners that, would cook a real shit, So I grew up with a lot of that. And in those days, this is the 70s, Tijuana wasn't shit. But Caravasan, he's from Tijuana. And he showed me pictures of what's going on down there. And Tijuana's changed a lot. It's grown a lot. That used to be just a little bitty border town.
Yeah, I remember back in those days.
Yeah, but it's got a lot of nice stuff on it, nice restaurants, and if you know where to go, it kind of reminds me a lot of the way Brazil was back in the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that the other day because I was reading an article about how Mexican food had kind of almost, at this stage, it's almost become like American food just because it's so ubiquitous.
Well, it's almost everywhere. You can go to Korea and get Mexican food.
Well, the weird thing about it is that when I was growing, you grew up in Southern California, so it's like, you guys had Mexican food like all the time, but I feel like until maybe the 80s or 90s where I grew up,
that was foreign food.
It was, it's like we had Taco Bell, but that's like not really Mexican food. You know what I mean? That's just kind of like a weird simulacrum of like Mexican food.
That's a corporate version of Cal Mix.
Although there's something about, I'm not a big fan of Taco Bell, but I know I know that a lot of people like Taco Bell. Nobody thinks it's like actual real Mexican food or anything, but sometimes that's kind of what you want. It's kind of like we were talking about this the other day. It's like, as much as like we like to cook everything at home and like everything tastes better, sometimes just every now and then it's just, you know what? I just want a fucking quarter pounder, man. You know what I mean? And some McDonald's fries. It's like, it's not good. It's not good for you or anything like that. But for some reason, sometimes you just want that. Well, and like I said, sometimes we fucking just give it up. So like, fuck it, man. We're going to Captain D's and getting some fucking deep fried fish and hush puppies.
Yeah.
And some fried green tomatoes. Not, like I said, not good for you, but every now and then that's just what you want. What are you going to do?
They had this YouTuber. He goes all around the world tasting street food, and he goes to Mexico. He goes to Tijuana and fucking Mexico City. And he went to another place down there and was eating the street food looked really good. It was really good.
That's what I mean. It's like we've been watching like Gordon Ramsay because like I said, he's doing that Uncharted show. It's like every fucking thing they make on there looks delicious.
Jair Khan of Aztlan, his real name is fucking Jair. We talk a lot off site and shit, but Jair, man, I want to tell you that tortilla press, you can get them here in the United States. Cast iron ones, just like you guys use, they're only $20 each. So I'm gonna order one.
Oh,
they're only $20.
Nice.
Free delivery. It's that same fucking cast iron fucking press. It looks cast iron. It might be aluminum, but it looked cast iron.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they all look about the same.
We would use that a lot because we make.
I got that stuff. I just need one.
Yeah. I mean, we make. What do you think? I mean, I was trying to think the other day. I think we probably most commonly. Maybe not so much recently, but most commonly we make Indian food.
Yeah.
But I think second after that is probably Mexican food.
Yeah.
We are always making burritos.
Yeah. And if you guys have had corn tortillas out of the package, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
But I got some of that damn meal. What's it called? Maseca?
Masa.
Yeah, I think it's called Maseca masa. Yeah. And I made some, tried to make a couple tortillas by hand. It's actually a lot easier if you have the press. The flavor was fucking far superior.
They were really good. And it made the whole house smell good.
Yeah, the whole house smells good. So if you get that Maseca and make your own tortillas with that fucking press, you guys don't know what you're missing. Shit, man. The flavor is like 4 times.
Yeah.
And the texture is a lot better.
Yeah, I liked them a lot, actually. I mean, the
better.
ones in the package are fine, but it's like, once you have like the homemade shit, it was just kind of like, I don't mind like when we make Indian food, I don't mind just like buying the big thing of like, pre-made naan bread, but we've made our own naan bread a few times, and it is actually much better.
Yeah, I think I have the Maseca yellow brand.
Yeah, they sell that here. It's like we get.
I think it was yellow. It's a yellow or white.
I'm pretty sure
I think it was yellow.
Yeah, we bought it at Publix, right?
Got it at Publix. It's here.
Yeah,
and it's not expensive.
Yeah, it was just like a couple of bucks.
Yeah, but I heard that in Germany that shit's fucking expensive. There was either a German or a British person saying that they had it there. I think it was a German girl said that they had Maseca and that shit was fucking expensive.
Well, I guess because of the imports.
Yeah.
I guess it's like so far. That was one thing, and I'm not sure about the UK nowadays because I haven't been there in a while, but that was one thing that I actually missed when I was over there was like they didn't have a lot of Mexican food.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They might nowadays. I'm not sure because that was a long time ago. I think the last time I was there was probably 2009.
Any idea on the price of the cookbook?
Oh, gosh. It's going to depend on... I'm kind of like, from what I estimated, I'm assuming it's going to be like 35, but I'm not real sure because I want to do a hardback one. I don't want to do paperback.
Yeah, it's not going to be that cheap.
But it'll depend on the page count. I'm looking at like a 200-page book because that's about what the average.
And it's not going to really be on us. These are robot printing companies that fucking do this, and it's all just fucking a set price based on.
I'm probably going to do it through Lulu because they will actually do. Because I mean, when I do my books, I usually do it through what used to be called CreateSpace. I think it's called KDP now, but they only have paperback options. And for a cookbook, I really wanted it to be a hardback.
Yeah, we don't really control the price; they do.
Well, like I said, it has to do with
there's a
your
minimum
page
price.
count.
Right.
Yeah, it has to do with whether you want, like, if you want full color inside, which we do.
Yeah,
if you want full bleed on all the pages, which we do because it just looks better. Whether like the different kind of like coatings you want on the cover and everything. But when I went through there, because I did like a price estimation, like with a 200-page book, and it looked like our cost. So it looked like we would probably have to sell it for like 35.
That's not that bad though.
That's what, for like a big hardback.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
But like I said, we'll see how it goes. It's, we're going to try and get this thing done. And I want it to be super cool looking and super, like I said, the one that I did for the vegan black metal chef, and I'm like really proud of how that one came out.
Yeah.
And I want one that's as cool. I don't want it to look like that one because that's like his aesthetic. But
and Khan of Aztlan's going to get some credit in this book because he's pushed me in the right direction in the Mexican section. So he's going to be Mexican.
Yeah, you've been talking to him a lot about like different like Mexican
about
recipes.
what should go in there and what can be executed outside of Mexico. Because some of the people that buy this book are going to be in Europe. So I want to make sure that they can get these components. Now, talking about tacos, for you pinche güeros out there, you gringos, okay? Sometimes, you have a problem doing a real authentic Mexican fillings. It's very easy to make pico de gallo or pico de gallo type salsa, which is a lot better than a store-bought salsa. But Jenny and I have found that for a quick fucking filling, just a regular old damn fucking high quality Gordon's fish sticks in a damn taco.
We just like heat up some fish sticks in the oven and throw them in there. Cheap ass fish tacos.
Cheese, put some pico on there, man. Fucking yeah. And in a maseca.
If we don't feel like making anything
in a homemade corn tortilla shell, that would be fucking awesome.
I love fucking fish.
I got to get that press.
Like I said, if it swims in the ocean, I will probably eat it. You know what I mean?
Because they eat them with fish, a lot of fish and fucking shrimp and stuff in Mexico.
I love fish tacos.
It doesn't have to be pork or beef. There's a lot of fish and shrimp from what I saw on the street food episode of what they were making out there.
Well, remember that taco place we used to go to after iBar sometimes? I don't even know if it's there anymore. But that one that was just like a few doors down, there would be like a big line, like after the bars closed, everybody go get tacos. And they had their fish tacos were actually really, really good. Big chunks of like white fish in there. Yeah. I was all about that.
Oh, yeah. And I'm going to put a gumbo in there.
Yeah.
I'll put gumbo, probably put etouffee in there.
Yeah.
And maybe jambalaya. Just, the basics. Gumbo, etouffee, jambalaya, maybe a pistolet. Pistolet, I don't know if you know what a pistolet is. It means a little pistol. And it's a little French bread that's been hollowed out that has like a creamy shrimp filling in it.
Oh, you've never made that for me before.
It's good.
I've heard of it, but I didn't know.
It's a creamy, pinkish red, creamy shrimp, spicy shrimp filling.
See now,
and it's in a French
language.
bread.
There we go.
Yeah, and it's outside of it's kind of buttered and toasted, so it's kind of like a
bread, butter, and seafood.
Yeah.
That's my three favorite things.
It's kind of like a fried grilled cheese sandwich, but with shrimp. Yeah,
you're killing me over here,
man.
You're killing me.
All right, so we'll look at that.
And we just ate not too long ago. And I'm hungry again. Yeah. Well, because I was thinking, like I said, we were watching Gordon in Sumatra last night on the DVR, and he was making some like really good shit with like some shrimp and coconut.
All right, Sandra, you have a good one.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
Thank you for dropping by. I know, it's like holy crap. We've been on almost 2 hours. And I was like worried because I was just kind of like, well, we should do a live stream because it's your birthday. And it's like, I didn't even plan anything to talk about it. We didn't watch no movies or nothing.
Yeah.
Because you know what I did? I was going to watch a new movie last night, but then I got all distracted by watching Gordon. And then he was like, oh, well, I need to go take a shower. So find something else to watch. So then I was watching Gordon again, like 24 hours to hell and back on fucking Tubi. And then I noticed that Netflix just added season 3 of Dark. And I was like, fuck, now I'm going to have to, because I want to see that, but I don't remember what happened I don't remember everything that happened because it's a very complex story. So I started watching the whole thing over again from season 1.
Yeah.
So I watched like the first 3 episodes of like the first season so I could get all caught up. So if anybody's like started watching Dark season 3, do not spoil it for me. Because I'm watching the whole fucking shit over again before I go and get into season 3. Because I totally forgot. I didn't forget what happened exactly, but I forgot like all of the relationships and everything like that. And I didn't when I wanted to like catch up with it because it's been like a year or 2 since I've watched it. But so if anybody has not seen on Netflix the German series Dark, you should totally, especially if you like Stranger Things or any like weird kind of sci-fi or anything like that. It's like really, really cool. What?
Mango saying stay away from fish sticks if there's cheese involved. No, not on a taco.
Well, yeah, a lot of people are just kind of like, oh, fish and cheese don't go together. And I'm just kind of like, well, it depends.
On a taco, it does.
I mean, I'll eat it like that. It's good.
I mean, fish tacos are common both in the United States and in Mexico. And they have cheese on them. But they also have it's also a corn tortilla. And it's got fucking pico, which is, diced tomatoes, onions, maybe like red pepper, with like a kind of like a vinaigrette or lemon juice and olive oil type deal with a little bit of spice in it. It works. It works well, very well.
I have to tell you too that and I know like people are just probably going to go ew and like, judge me and stuff. But whenever we used to go to the, the all you can eat Chinese buffet, Koi Wans or whatever, every now and then they'd have this dish and it was always like at the end, like way over in the corner, like almost like they were ashamed of it. What?
Yeah. I forgot to tell you, Mango, Mexico does not use cheddar cheese. Okay.
Yeah.
The most common cheese they're using is mozzarella.
Which I actually like mozzarella better on Mexican food. So cheddar's good too, but
cheddar can work. I like
mozzarella better in general.
They're using white cheese or queso fresco, which is kind of like a white cheese.
Yeah.
I don't really like queso fresco that much. It's a little salty and it doesn't melt very well. It's not creamy. I think it's good for maybe certain applications. Maybe it's better in Mexico. But the queso frescos that we have here are queso fresco. The ones that we have here, it doesn't melt very well. It's kind of waxy. I don't know. Hey, Con, does queso fresco in Mexico, does it melt or is it kind of waxy?
Yeah. But there's one thing that they make at the Chinese buffet. I don't even know what the fuck it is. It's not Chinese, I don't think. But it's just, they make like this, it's almost like a casserole or something, but it comes out in this big pan and it's like the imitation crab meat, like big chunks of like imitation crab with a K. And then it's got some kind of, it might be cheddar cheese. It might be, I don't know what kind of cheese it is, but it's some kind of like, deeply yellow cheese. And they just kind of like melt that over the top. And then I guess they bake it. And there's some other shit in there too, but I don't know what it is. It's just like, it almost looks like mayonnaise. I don't think it is. But for some reason, every time I see that, I have like a little squee of joy because it's like, I'm sure everyone is completely grossed out, but I really, really like that stuff, even though it's like just fish and cheese and it's just like fucking baked. And a lot of people are grossed out by imitation crab. But the thing about it is that even though it's called imitation crab, it's not like fake. It's fish is what it is. It's not like, it's just fish that kind of tastes like crab, or they put like a little bit of dye on it so it looks like a crab. So it's not like they just made it in a lab or anything. It is actually from an animal. They're just calling it an animal that it's not.
Yeah. Jair says that, queso fresco does not melt very well. Yeah. They're using, how do you say that? Oaxa?
I don't know.
It's Oaxaca. And I don't know how X is pronounced.
I can't remember. Actually, I think I looked up how to pronounce that one time, but I don't remember.
In Portuguese, that would be X is pronounced CH to be Oaxa, but I don't know if that's pronounced that way in Mexican Spanish.
It might be similar.
Okay, Calico Spark is saying Oaxa, Cojita, and Chihuahua. I don't know. Chihuahua, yeah, and Manchego. So it's all the different Mexican cheeses.
Yeah.
Outside of Mexico, most authentic for you as a pinche güero, okay, for the fucking white boy, okay, is going to be probably something like mozzarella.
Yeah, that does seem to be.
Because it's white, it's mild, and it melts.
Yeah.
Okay. You could probably get it. What would be good with fucking fish sticks? In the United States, would probably be something as crazy as Philadelphia cream cheese. Would probably be very good at it.
I would eat the shit out of it.
I'd eat that, yeah.
I'd eat pretty much anything with Philly cream cheese on it.
Okay.
Cream cheese is delicious. I wish cheese wasn't so fattening, man. Why is everything so
But they got all kinds of fancy Mexican cheeses that we don't have.
He says it's Oaxaca.
Oaxaca. Okay, that's not Oaxaca. All right.
Yeah, so he says fake crab, not fake food. Exactly.
Right. Oaxaca.
It's just fish. They're just calling.
You're not going to be able to get Oaxaca probably in a average American store.
I don't know. You'd
have to
look
go to a Mexican.
Either
store.
That. Well, you can look because I do like grocery stores have actually come a long way, like particularly with their delis and all their other stuff. Because Publix and Winn-Dixie and stuff like that have a pretty big cheese section, and they have like cheeses from all over the place. We haven't looked for it. So I haven't looked for it. So they might very well have. They have like tons of like European cheeses and stuff like that. So we have lots of Mexicans, lots of Cubans. Well, particularly in Florida, there's a lot of Mexicans and Cubans living in Florida. But I would think more so Cubans. Cubans have been here longer. There's a lot of Cubans in Florida. But it's very difficult to tell a Cuban from a fucking American Irish. They've been here for so long. They're so integrated into American society. Cubans in Florida are not foreign. There's nothing about them foreign. No.
They're just another American. But Oaxaca, I got to look for that.
That's another thing.
That Mexican store, the little grocery store.
The one that you go.
The one that I ride out to go find. I'll ride after to get that.
He rides all the way to get the hot sauce.
To go get that damn hot sauce.
Where is it? It's in Eustis.
Yeah,
right?
Yucatano hot sauce.
Yeah.
I love that shit.
Well, because they have some of the El Yucatano in the regular grocery store, but they don't have like the super hot, like the.
They don't have the brown one, man.
The brown hot one. You have to go to the.
Yeah.
To the Mexican place.
That's just so hot you could barely eat it, and they toned it down.
Yeah.
When I first got it, it was 4 times hotter than it is now. I guess it was people complained.
There's like,
so that's just too fucking hot. But I liked it the way it was.
You're peeling all the cells off the inside of my mouth.
I'll show you guys, man. I'm gonna go get.
He's gonna go get it. How far is that you ride up there?
50 miles.
Yeah, every now and then, if he feels like going for a motorcycle ride, he'll ride all the way up to Eustis. And he'll go all the way up there just to like buy this one little bottle of hot sauce. Because like I said, they have that brand in regular grocery stores, but they don't usually have like the Azteca, like the brown sauce that's like the super hot one. I don't know why, because everybody's
3 of them to show off.
Everybody's like super into hot sauce nowadays. So you would think that
this is the hottest.
He loves hot sauce.
This is the hottest one I could find.
I can't eat it. It tears my digestive system.
Oh, look at it. It's backwards.
Yeah. That's how cameras work.
I thought it would be the same.
I thought it would be the same.
It's all
my shit go all blurry.
All right. I can't fucking pronounce that.
I can't see that.
KUTBIL -IKDE. Kutibil. How do you fucking say that? Kutubigil ikti.
That sounds like some scary shit, like you're about to cut my heart out or something.
See that? KUTBIL.
Brittany Irwin says cream cheese is good on most things. Indeed it is.
All right. That bitch was hot. It's hot now, but it used to be even hotter back in the day. Then there was this one, this green one.
Yeah.
All right.
Salsa.
And then they came out with this fucking luxurious motherfucker too. It's this black one. It's mild though, but it tastes good. But this one right here, man, it could typically. Yeah. Yeah, they see that shit's famous there in Mexico. Yeah. They're all habanero. It all says habanero.
Yeah.
The green one tastes a little bit more like something based in more like jalapeno. It's kind of like habanero and jalapeno together. And then this one, the black one, it also is a habanero, but it says Black Label Reserve. Black Label Reserve.
See, that means it's super fancy.
Super fancy shit. But they're not hot. This one is fucking hot. That one will tear you up.
I can't eat anything much hotter than like the habanero one. Like after that, like my,
yeah.
I just can't eat hot things anymore. It sucks.
They're making everybody hungry.
I know. That's all we do.
Yeah.
And can we talk a little bit too? Because we're gonna put, I think aren't we gonna put in the cookbook a Cuban sandwich?
Yeah, I was gonna put some Florida Cuban food in it.
Yeah, because I lived in Tampa and there's like a huge like Cuban community over there, and it's like you could get a good Cuban sandwich at like pretty much anywhere, and they're so fucking delicious.
I got to look into what kind of meat exactly it is that they're using.
It's some kind of pork, yeah.
Some kind of pork. Yeah. I'm thinking that a Cuban sandwich could also be executed in Mexico. Sure. I think they could probably get all that.
Sandwiches are good, man.
Right.
You could like make all kind of things.
What kind of bread? It's a French bread?
So, well,
they call it Cuban bread.
It's sort of like French bread. Yeah. It's similar.
Yeah.
It's similar.
It's like a sub sandwich with marinated pork.
Yeah.
And what else is in there?
Shit.
Onion?
No. Oh, man, I can't remember.
And garlic? It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
They're really good. I used to get them all the time when I lived over there.
It's a Florida's version of like a hot sub sandwich.
Yeah.
Kind of like what it's like.
Sub sandwich.
Yeah. I'll probably put some damn Florida drinks in there. Probably put some like what What's the fucking rum drink that man I used to drink here all the time? I'm fucking drunk and I can't think of it.
The rum drink?
It's a rum drink with the fucking mint in it.
Oh, yeah. Your mojito.
Mojito, yeah. Yeah. It's a rum drink with kind of like lime and mint. Even though I think it's Puerto Rican in origin, and it originally wasn't mint. It was some other herb that they have that's like mint.
But everything's better with mint.
But here in Florida, they make it with mint.
Yeah.
And it's a good hot weather rum drink.
It's very refreshing.
Very refreshing on ice and in a big fucking jar. And yes, jar is a fucking thing in Florida. This is class, high class shit. And mojitos are drunk out of this. A fucking pickle jar. And it'll be filled with fucking ice, and it's light green, and it's got the damn crushed fresh mint in it, and it's like having an iced tea. You know what I mean? It's a refreshing summer drink, and they're not strong really. There's not a lot of alcohol in them. You can drink a lot of them.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those ones.
It's one of those drinks where you drink them all day.
Yeah, where it's kind of like where people, do like Bloody Marys or do like a mimosa or something like that, where you can drink them during the day and they don't. They give you a buzz, but they don't make you completely shit faced. Like
you have to drink them. You have to drink 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah,
they're easy to control, but they're nice and cool and refreshing, and you drink it over a period of a few hours. You know what I mean? Watching movies, and they're nice.
Yeah.
That's a South American thing and a fucking Mediterranean thing. You got time. There's no sense. It's not like it is in Europe. We're trying to get drunk fast, right? So you can get back to work the next day. It's not like that in a tropical region. You know what I mean? The fucking in the warm weather. You take all fucking day to get drunk.
It's a leisure activity.
It's a leisure activity.
Yeah, see, Uncle Kermie says the Cuban sandwich is Ybor City Zone. That's actually where I used to live, Ybor City. Well, and that's where the castle is. That's where we used to go there. I used to live right behind Raymond James Stadium.
Yeah.
On McDill Avenue.
Yeah, he's talking about the Moya sauce. Yes, indeed. Mango Badger showing us the flash bulbs.
Oh, thank you
singing.
So much.
I'm gonna sing your praises, Mango.
Oh, jeez.
Fuck the cheese sticks. Happy birthday, man. Tom and Jenny, thank you for the last 4 years. No, thank you, Mango. Need to have a fucking drink on the house.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Here's a drink. That's an e-drink.
We need to start doing that. Have little drink tokens. We can set it like. Yeah, Brett Aaron says, now I want to drink. It's 4 and I'm working from home. See, that's the nice thing about working from home.
Yeah.
Like today,
no boss breathing down your
Wednesday
neck.
at 4:00, and I've just drunk like a whole jar full of vodka. So it wasn't completely full of vodka.
Armed ASMR. All right. Oh, before I go in, he's asked a question. What happened to DB Cooper? First of all, AMSR, I fucking ordered a fucking brand new fucking Bravo Company. What's it called? BCM. Bravo Company Manufacturing H2 buffer. From a fucking PSA 16 mid-length. You know what I'm talking about. But I went to that. That
sounded dirty.
I went to that fucking H2 to get that nearly 5 ounces of fucking buffer weight. Try to smooth that action out. Anyway.
See?
What happened
sounded to dirtier the more you
sounded fucking dirty, did it? To answer your question. DB Cooper. I think DB Cooper died.
I think he did too.
I don't think he made it.
I don't think so either.
Where he jumped, there was a lot of water. Okay. I've rappelled out of a lot of helicopters, and I fucking know all about fucking airborne operations. You have a lot of forward momentum during a jump, especially jumping out of a fucking commercial airliner. All right. So yeah, he might have had his chute deployed, but there's no telling how close to the ground he deployed the chute, if he did it wrong or not. And you have no idea what his forward velocity was. He might have been falling to the ground kind of slow, but maybe he was fucking had a forward velocity of 150 miles an hour when he hit the ground. And it may not have been ground. He probably hit tree limbs. And he was in kind of a fucking moist environment. He might have been busted up pretty bad by tree limbs. and then made it down into shallow water, and with broken legs and a broken arm, couldn't keep his head above the water and fucking drowned.
Yikes.
It's a lot of bad shit that could happen during a jump. It's dangerous. I don't think DB Cooper made it.
I always I know this isn't what happened, but I always kind of like imagined him like coming down into the water, and then like he's like, yeah, I'm gonna make it, and then like a big alligator came up and just ate him.
I don't really think I understand, a civilian's gonna have a different perspective of it. Jumping out of a moving fucking jet. That jet was probably moving 220 miles an hour when he jumped. I'm not sure how a fucking chute would react to that amount of velocity. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I'm not real sure how much thought he put into.
I'm not sure if the chute could actually open in that velocity. I mean, maybe it could, but still.
I mean, what
was deployment like?
They found some of the money, didn't they?
Yeah, I think chances are he fucked it up and fucking went through tree limbs at the fucking 150 miles an hour.
And like you said, he might have fell in the water.
And then fell in the water.
And if you fall in the water, they wouldn't
especially with some broken limbs, and he was still pretty much out in the middle of nowhere where his drop zone was. And it doesn't take much to get lost out in a terrain like that. And a person could walk right near your body 5 meters away and not see you.
Well, yeah, look at all the people that go missing and like shit like that, and they never fucking find them.
I don't think he made it. I think had he made it, he would have gotten caught in some way. He would have told somebody that he did it, or he would have marked bills or something. Something would have got him. He would have ratted on himself from talking too much about it. It's a daring fucking plan. And here's the thing.
It was not the smartest plan, probably, but
And I think he was experienced. I think he was from an airborne division. I think he was military.
If I remember correctly, yeah. I mean, he wasn't like just doing it. Like he did kind of put some thought into it.
It wasn't his first jump.
Right.
I'm pretty sure he was. I think he was probably from the 82nd. 82nd Airborne Division, probably. Not his first jump, but I don't think he really thought it out in terms of he was jumping maybe like, in the back 40 of fucking Fort Bragg. But that's not what the situation was where he jumped out. That's not Fort Bragg. Wasn't a cleared out fucking drop zone. He just took his chances with it, I think. And his only way out of there would be that he would have a car waiting or some kind of an accomplice. And I just find it unlikely that he could have gotten away with it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about it is that jumping out of a plane at that, I mean, even if you accounted for, the speed of the plane, the route that the plane was going, stuff like that. I mean, you're never going to know exactly where you're going to land. So how would your accomplice know where to fucking find you? I mean, it's like, it could be like a big area.
He could control his zone within about 10 miles, probably.
Yeah. But I mean, even that's kind of like a big area. And if he fell and he was wounded, like you said, you could be walking around, because look at all the people that like disappear and get murdered and shit like that. And people are like looking around and don't find them for like years and years. And then later somebody wanders off like 5 feet over there, and then they fucking find the shit. You know what I mean? It's like, I think people forget how remote like some places are, and how easy it is to like miss something as small as like a human body. You know what I'm saying?
They're asking where the money is. I think the money's down there with the body.
Well, but like I said, they did find some of it. They found a little bit of it.
Here's the deal. When you're coming down through the trees at 150 miles an hour, chances are some of that money might go flying out of whatever bag you got it in.
And he's like, oh no.
Gets picked up by the wind and ends up going into the water. They found some of that stuff in the water, some of it buried alongside of the water, but it may not have been buried originally. It might have just ended up over a few weeks or a few months, you know what I mean, becoming buried, shifting sands, that type of deal. Didn't they find some money?
Yeah, just
buried a little bit, but it wasn't much.
I don't know if it was buried, but it was like, it was like a little bit of it.
It was just a little bit of it. I think it had just gotten kind of scattered, kind of like when you shoot a bird with a shotgun, little feathers go poof and go fluttering down. Because that's what I think happens when you hit those trees. Poof. You know,
and all his little monies because
all his little monies went floating.
He doesn't have any feathers, so it was just the monies that went like
floating. So
we should do a show about that dude, actually,
because he was trying to find his in the Army. When you do a jump, you're told when to jump because the pilot knows you're over the drop zone.
Right.
He knows his forward velocity. He knows, but if the stick starts to jump out, he knows more or less when they will drift over the drop zone. It's all computed. But that's seemingly not what happened with this jump. He kind of knew, and he had a vague idea of what time he should jump out of the airplane based on his course and his speed.
Right.
It's very different from looking out and going, there's a drop zone. Yeah, that's it right there. Okay.
Yeah, vague idea. I don't know if I'd want to trust just a vague idea of where I was at.
Maybe he didn't. Maybe the speed wasn't constant. Maybe there was a headwind. Maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe so there's going to be a bigger margin of error. Mm-hmm. He might have jumped out 50 miles away from where he really should have been. 50 miles isn't long. 20 miles isn't long.
Yeah.
In a plane going nearly 200 miles an hour. So I think he fucked it up.
Yeah. And Austin here says, I grew up in that part of the country, and if he landed in the wrong place, they will never find him.
Yeah.
It's way too easy to get lost.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, if you're just a mile or two, like off the mark, then, and no one ever goes out there, it's not like anyone's just going to like wander past.
That general area basically is Dagobah. That's what you're talking about, like Dagobah. You know, Yoda and shit, you know.
I mean, like I said, I've written about tons of cases where, you know, somebody got kidnapped and murdered, and then their body was dumped, and they didn't find them for fucking years afterward. Yeah. And there were people around. It's just, you know,
the whole idea,
a mile or so out in the woods, nobody's walking past.
The whole idea of finding this man's body in that environment is a fantasy. I told this story. This is just right up the street. When I was working for Dr. Matt, I threw a damn dead turkey out the back of his fucking chicken coop, and then forgot to go bury it. You know, went back the next day to go get the turkey and bury it, and it was long gone.
Yeah, but he's like, hey,
and that's what would have happened to his body.
Did the chickens murder the turkey?
Out there in that fucking swamp, there'd have been nothing left of him within 12 hours.
Well, yeah, I mean,
eaten by everything.
In this kind of environment, like especially in Florida, we have like all the animals and all the bugs.
It would have been alligators and buzzards and fucking all kinds of
armadillos.
Stuff. Just nothing will leave a dead body alone, especially in the water. Fucking, it'll be eaten. Might as well just throw it out in the Amazon. In the Amazon, things aren't even around long enough to rot. They're just eaten.
Yeah.
Too much wildlife.
Can we spend a moment laughing at, because when like I said, we were watching the Gordon Ramsay Uncharted thing, and what they've taken to doing, they show you the show, which on Sunday was Sumatra, and then they show you 15 minutes of next week's show, which I think is going to be in Guyana.
Yeah.
And so he was there, like the part that they showed, he's in this boat with this, Amerindian guy, and they're catching piranhas, like to eat them. And it was just like so funny because the dude, I feel like the whole like behind the scenes shit for this show, which is very funny to me, was that they just told everybody that is interacting with Gordon to just fuck with Gordon as much as possible.
That's all it is, fuck with him.
They're just like, make fun of him, make him do really embarrassing things, make him do really hard things so he'll fall off the boat and get wet, like make him get behind the cows and get pulled through the mud, and it's like all this other kind of shit, like just to make him look like a tool, which I think is, but I mean, he's a good sport about it. But so him and this guy are like sitting in this boat, and they're trying to catch piranhas, and poor Gordon, they give Gordon the fucking stick with the string on it, and he can't, he's just beating the thing, trying to get the piranhas like to come up so he can catch them and shit. And meanwhile, the other guy's like over at the end of the boat with just a string, and he's just like catching piranha after piranha after piranha, and he's just like looking at Gordon like, look how fucking lame you are. You can't even catch a single piranha. Gotta say though, they caught so many piranhas that is really not a place where you'd want to fall into the river. I didn't even realize you could eat piranhas, but I guess.
Oh yeah, no, they're good. Brazil forever.
Well, I guess because when you think of piranhas, you always think of them eating you.
No.
So you don't really think that it's like, oh yeah, I guess it's just like a fish. You can eat it.
It's just another fish.
You just have to be careful about it.
They eat them all the time in Brazil.
Yeah. And like the ones they caught were actually pretty big. And then what they did was they just cut them in half and then he just kind of like, fillet, like opened them up like that, and then like
the whole
cooked them over a fucking grill.
The whole piranha thing is bullshit. They're not as aggressive as people think.
No, they're not. They're not. And it's just because of all those horror movies they had, like in the fucking 70s.
It's getting late. My shit's fucking dying out. We gotta say goodbye to everybody.
Well, we've been on. Yeah, we've been on for like 2 hours and 15 minutes.
I want to thank everybody for wishing me a happy birthday. Had a good birthday. You guys are showing me all kinds of flashbulbs. We had all kinds of good discussions about food. This is just a rambling show. Doesn't have anything to do with the paranormal thing or any of the true crime. Just a fun show.
We're just talking about toys and piranhas and food.
Toys and piranhas and food. That's the way the show is. When are we coming back?
It will probably be Saturday, and it will probably be a movie review. Like I'm putting up like horror stories tomorrow. We recorded a movie review, like an old movie review that's going up Friday, and then we will probably be live again on Saturday, and it'll probably be a movie.
So we're gonna do live movie review on Saturday.
On Saturday, yeah, okay. like a new movie. Oh, and somebody says new episodes of Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix. We definitely have to start.
They're up already. They're up now.
I'm not sure. I didn't see them last night, but I wasn't like looking because, like I said, I wanted to watch season 1 and 2 of Dark again so I could watch season 3. But as soon as I'm done with that, we'll definitely start watching the new Unsolved Mysteries because I'm like super excited about that.
All right. Well, see you guys later.
All right. So we'll see you guys later. Like I said, we'll be live again on Saturday, but we'll be posting other stuff tomorrow and Friday. So thank you very much, everybody, for dropping by. I can't believe we went on for such a long time. Holy crap. And we're so drunk and it's like so early in the afternoon. Oh well. So we'll see you guys later. Bye.